Welcome everybody for the closing run of the evening. My name is sk84uhlivin. Today we'll be running NieR. This is the original NieR, released in 2010. Same genre as NieR Automata, but it's definitely a different game. So we'll go ahead and get started. I guess a fair warning about how this game looks is that without explanation, everything looks very trivial, but every single screen is calculated. When it comes to movement, attacking, all of that stuff, it's extremely calculated. I've decided to name my character Bovril. I guess there was a missed naming for a donation from Bowie the Heroes run, so I'm happy to do it on their behalf. The name will be Bovril. I guess it's a drink or something. Could I get a volunteer to start my timer, please?
Okay.
All right.
3, 2, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So yeah, this is NieR. We're gonna start off with a prologue. It'll take about 2.5, 3 minutes. I can get a good setup here. All right, we got the good setup. All right, that was really good. So yeah, this prologue, like any other prologue in any other game, is designed to introduce you to all the mechanics. We'll probably be using about a third of the mechanics in the actual speedrun, but of course we need to know about them in order to play the game, right? So this one, you had the 3 shades from earlier. Yeah, these enemies are called shades. And another set of 3 here, and then we need to let these guys hit me really quick. Very good. So now the next 2 minutes or so is going to be the game introducing me to all the different kinds of magic, which this run heavily relies on magic. The game even relies on magic. There's a bunch of different weapons in the game, but it turns out in this version of the game, magic is king. All right, so that was Dark Hand. That's probably gonna be the one of 2 magics we use the most. The other one being the one I'm using right now, Dark Blast. The way I'm using it right now is not exactly how we're going to be using it most of the run. You can see that there's these little bullets and all these bullets flying around every couple seconds. That's kind of like the intended way to use this magic, but we're going to be using it a little bit different. All right, back to Dark Hand for a couple of these. All right, now we get Dark Execution. You can use Dark Execution one of a couple different ways. You can either use it like that or you can charge it like this. Depending on the situation, kind of dictates when you should do one or the other for prologue, but we don't use this magic really outside of the prologue in exactly one fight in the speedrun. So the key here is we're trying to line them up in a line so that when we do the Dark Execution, it hits all of them in a row. I'll do a charge here. That should give me 15, perfect. So now we get Lance. It's a lance, you know. I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory. A nice thing about Dark Lance too is that can hit enemies from behind. So like I just got an enemy kill from there from behind. It has a hitbox that extends backwards and forwards. So if you can believe it, we're gonna go ahead and do a skip. There's a boss that's usually at the end of prologue here. But what you can do is if you kill this last shade right inside the hut, you just skip the boss. So already doing skips and already succeeding. So that was a pretty good prologue. All right, so I will spend the next few minutes attempting to explain how movement works in this game. It's again, it looks like nothing's happening, but everything's happening. So let's see if I can get at least the start here. Okay, so there's several kinds of roles in this game, but the 2 that we're going to be concerning ourselves with are regular roles and side roles. So a regular role is a regular role, and there's nothing else to it. A side role is a intended mechanic of the game, but what it's predominantly supposed to be used for is when you're fighting an enemy, you can do a sort of 90-degree roll around the enemy so that you can all of a sudden be on the other side of the enemy and continue attacking. But it turns out that you can do that side roll anywhere. It doesn't just have to be with an enemy. and that side roll is faster, and it's probably about the same movement. But the recovery time for each roll is much faster with a side roll. And to start a side roll, you have to do a quarter circle. So it can be a quarter circle in any direction. So like you'll hear me refer to them as like clock directions, like 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and so on. So that's how you start a side roll. And then if you look at the bottom of the screen, the bottom right, you'll notice that you can see the little cone showing which way I'm facing. And then you'll notice the icon is facing 90 degrees to the left because I'm doing a side roll from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So just to start, if you're having a tough time figuring out if I'm doing a side roll or not, you can try to look at the mini-map. But in theory, I should be side rolling everywhere. So here's the first little quest of the game that Popola asked us to do. She has said that we need 3 mutton from these sheep here. So unfortunately, and I try to minimize it, but unfortunately we are going to have to murder some sheep to achieve that. The odds of getting mutton, the other item you can get is wool, it's like 80%, 20%, so it works out to be just at like 50% to get 3 mutton and 0 wool, but you can see we got a wool there, but that's not a big deal. So then after that, we get these 3 shades here. That works. All right. So yeah, I guess maybe something I pay attention to in these first couple minutes is notice anytime I start movement, you can kind of see NieR just like very briefly turn to the left and then go forward. And then I guess the other part of side rolls that I haven't explained yet is in order to keep a side roll, it's not just as simple as continuing to roll after starting a side roll. So I guess imagine like a straight line in front of NieR, and you take 40 degrees either to the left or to the right of that straight line. Your next roll after your initial side roll has to be within that cone, otherwise you lose the side roll. So you can tell, especially like that shop there where I'm like not exactly looking where I need to go after the shop, you then have to do, okay, like a 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock side roll, but then making sure that you're not taking like a corner too tight, otherwise you will lose that side roll. So the entire first half of the run is going to be managing that. So you can see there, maybe if you've been paying attention, like those 2 rolls there were really slow, and then I was able to start the side roll. So that's going on constantly the entire time I'm playing the game. So while everything looks like pretty trivial in terms of what I'm doing, like that's something I'm having to focus on the entire time I'm running. So we got her mutton. She's happy. Everyone's a winner. So yeah, first 15 minutes is still kind of like a prologue feel for the game. So we're learning, you know, you can loot things from enemies, and there are enemies, and now we'll go fight more enemies, and our daughter Yona is needy. All the things that you need to know to play the game. I guess we can talk about text mashing while I'm doing it for a second. So yeah, this game isn't one of those games where you can just mash as fast as possible and the text goes as fast as possible. There's like a very particular rhythm to it. I guess the way you can think about it is maybe listen to when the text is going. Any noise that you hear during that, I'm pretty much hitting buttons twice as fast as that between A and B. Yeah, leaving NieR's house is surprisingly one of the hardest movements in the game, just because you have a very tight window to side roll leaving the house, and then you have to do all that movement on the stairs. So they make you learn early. Alright, so we brought Yona the mutton. Now she wants us to investigate some carpenters that have been attacked by some shades. Shades have recently been invading the town. And I'm just going to go ahead and to break the ice now. I'm not a lore guy. I'm going to do my best. But normally I just play the game. So I have some lovely commentators with me who also probably don't know so much about the story, but they're here to help.
Yeah, a little bit. My only knowledge about this game is really just a remaster version that they released.
So yeah, in terms of that, the story is the same. So that's a nice thing about the new version. So yeah, if y'all aren't aware, this game was remade, about a year ago now, a year and a half ago. It's very, very, very faithful to the original in terms of how everything works. Like drop rates are the same, enemy spawns are the same, like everything's the same. The story's pretty much the same. All right, so this enemy here, I'm gonna go for a power hit there. Get another one here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Whiff. I can get a double here though, right? Nice. Okay, not a big deal. All right, so that's the last little bit of business that Popola requires us to do before we get to embark on our adventure. Try a little side roll setup here. Yeah. Yeah, so like even jumping up those walls there efficiently is not the easiest. If you can't tell, I'm like starting a side roll as soon as I clear the crest of the hill, or the crest of the cliff. So those can be a little tight.
I guess after watching that mini fight there, I kind of want to know, like, how does the combo string work with the... Is it specific to the one-handed sword, or did you do something?
Yeah. So I guess it should be said that I was running this game pretty much by myself for 3 years, and then I quit in January, and this guy, sk84uhlivin, decided to take the challenge, and with it brought so many new things to the game, so many new things, but one of them is the opening combat for, the first hour or so of the game. So you'll notice I was doing those charge attacks where like the red flames were coming out of the sword, and that's one of the things he brought. So back then, or back in the day, what we would do is we would just side roll around the enemy, do like 3 sword swings, side roll, 3 sword swings, then we would do like a finisher, which we're not going to be really using in this run anymore. But nowadays, we use that charge attack, but again, the theme of the run, nothing is trivial, right? So that charge attack only works on a 3 sword swing. So you have to like swing, 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 and then that 3rd swing, you have to hold the attack button down, or effectively the power attack isn't worth it. Like it's pretty much either like a net neutral or just worse.
We did just get a $100 donation from Sarda.
Wow. Thank
no
you so
comment, but very much appreciated. We are still going towards the ice cream boat challenge.
Very close to it.
We have Zero over here, who's the master at it.
Yona. I have to get to the eastern gate.
All right, so like this, like I pretty much did a 180-degree turn there, but remember you have to like have 40 degrees on each side. So like being able to engineer a 180-degree like turn and movement while still keeping a side roll, like stuff like that's just so difficult to be able to do. But now we finally get to leave the village and play the game. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna try here. So we go to our house and we discover that Yona is missing. So we have to go find Yona. And Popola tells us she might be at the Lost Shrine looking for a flower, I believe. I don't know if he knows that now or you find that out afterwards. But yeah, all this trouble for a child and a flower. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna try a double jump side roll into this cliff and hopefully miss the ladder. Nice. Yeah, ideally, if you can't tell that I moved to the left in a side roll, it's like a really good side roll. Set up my movement here, so I'm facing this rock, and then another side roll set up. And another one. All right. All right, so this is the Lost Shrine. This is the dungeon we'll be going to the most in the run 3 times. So I guess there's technically Junk Heap, depending on how you look at it. But this is surprisingly the first dungeon, and maybe unsurprisingly the path to the last dungeon. So it's one of those kind of worlds. So here's like a perfect test of like, can you keep a side roll, right? You're kind of having to go up these stairs that are always going in a different direction than straight. So you can see there, like I back rolled instead because I didn't do the angle right. This is a really tight corridor, so if you miss like your direction on the side roll, it's really hard to kind of recover from it without looking silly. All right, let's see what we can get here with these 2 shades. Oh, this looks good. Hey.
She'll never make it out of here.
In here, I have my own strat for this one. Nice. All right, so we got another little skip here. This isn't the last time you'll see this skip. And once again, nothing is as easy as it looks. So you have to be really, really careful about how you do these double jumps here. You have to make sure you hold down the first one for enough time. Perfect. Oh. All right. So now we'll have 2 rooms of combat. Yeah, I saw that coming. Rare drop though. Thick dictionary, very nice. So yeah, I can talk about it a little more later, but I have a program here to kind of keep track of all my drops. One of the nice whiff. One of the even though this is a action RPG, it is an RPG, which means therefore we're going to have some RNG to deal with. And to just explain shortly for now, that's going to help me kind of keep track of to make the most optimal decision with whatever RNG I get. So right, that was much better. So yeah, you can these charge attacks. You can either do 3 swings without moving, or if you start it with a roll, you can do 5 swings. So I just need to be cognizant of like when I start attacking an enemy, if I've rolled into it or if I've just neutrally swung. All right, we're about to get to try the only frame perfect trick in the run. There's 3 times we can try it. So one of the cool things about NieR is that it kind of meshes 2D or 3D and 2D together. And you can see here, I'm trying to get side rolls right in a 2D plane. It's kind of a weird concept. But there's one frame where NieR is actually facing towards us, and if you start the side roll in that frame, you can do a side roll in 2D space. So I got it twice there out of 3 times, pretty good. Now one of the hardest skips in the run. This is trunk skip. All right, pretty obvious what I was doing in terms of like, you know, just jump, roll, and swing, but it has to be very, very precise where you start the jump, how long you jump, the angle that you're at. So that's a pretty tough one, but I'm glad we got it.
The hell are these things? Get her back! Out of my way! Give my daughter back!
Yeah, give her back.
Then, Yona.
All right, so this little bit is an auto-scroller until a certain dialogue line happens. It'll be hard to miss what dialogue line it is. So pretty much what happens is it's an auto-scroller until I get that dialogue, and then after I get the dialogue, I need to kill somewhere between 3 and 6 shades. It's random. So what I try to do is I try to leave, like, I don't know, 4 to 7 shades alive here. So this is 6. This is more than I'd ever want. Or, yeah, as more as I'd ever want. And then once I get the line, then we can start attacking. And the idea here is that a whole bunch of shades are going to spawn once this phase is done. And we just want to minimize how many shades spawn. Because, you know, we could leave all the shades and kill 6, but now there's those shades and a whole new wave of shades versus this, which I'm just trying to leave the, you know, the minimum. All right, you all know the line at home. Oh, what? So now we just get to kill all these shades, and after that we're out to the boss. Hansel and Gretel. All right, so unique characteristic of this game, I told you earlier we use Dark Blast, like the turret firing thing. Here's the way we usually use it. So with Dark Blast, the very first bullet that comes out is the strongest bullet when you hold it down. So what if instead of holding it down, we just always make sure that the first bullet is the one that comes out? So unfortunately, what's required to do that is mashing right bumper on an Xbox controller, which not many speed games have to do such a thing.
Now, put him out of his misery.
All right, so there's two patterns we could have gotten here. One just makes us move out of the way, another one just lets us walk up right to Gretel here. And then we're parrying his attack so we don't have to stop mashing.
Now is your chance. Attack with all your might.
And now Hansel, we're gonna have to do something a little bit different. This is where stuff gets weird, right, with the inputs. So I'm gonna have to mash Dark Blast here while also moving the camera and myself, NieR in this case, all at the same time. So ideally we're always putting our back, or the boss's back to us so that an attack doesn't get off. And then we just kind of ring around the Rosie, ring around the Gretel, if you will. Hansel, one of those.
Perhaps you should focus on them first.
All right, not bad. Oh yeah, Grimoire Vice is in our party now. That's a thing. A book with 100,000 words to say. Kind of a pun, I guess, right?
Can I read a donation at this time?
Absolutely. Great time for it.
Yeah, there is $25 from J2Champ. Thanks to the ESA crew for putting this together. Good luck, Mr. Skate, and great job to all the runners, hosts, commentators, and crew. Let me see that ice cream.
Thank you so much, J2. Long-time friend and super happy to have you watching. Thank you. So every time you come into NieR's house, there's two items you can get. Most of the time they're not useful. We kind of need these two in particular to start the run, so we grab them. Grabbing items like that costs 5 seconds a piece, so we try to minimize that unless they're absolutely necessary. And that's on the ground in NieR's house anywhere, so.
Never. You.
I just love the sound of skipping dialogue fast.
Yeah, it's like it's because like I said before, like I use that to time my rhythm to like how fast I need to mash, so it works out. It's auditorily appealing and it's technically useful.
Something wrong.
All right, so I said I mash with A and B. I'm gonna do a little something different here. Since I know there's a cutscene after this, I'll mash B and start instead, since you know you're gonna have to use start to skip the cutscene. And be careful.
And be careful.
We will.
What I love about the music in this game is it changes as you go into different locations, and I think before when you talk to Devil, the vocal joined in as well.
Right, and that's like, I think by the OST, it's like Devila's version of Song of the Ancients or whatever it is. So yeah, it's a really nice touch. And I think we discussed it before the run too, is like sometimes you'll have music in a dungeon and then all of a sudden when you fight enemies, it's the same song but just like a little bit different, right? It's a nice touch. So we're gonna do a couple things here in town before we leave. We talked to that old man. He's gonna allow us to start the boar quest, which is to just kill a boar. And the only reason we're doing the boar quest is because doing the boar quest lets you ride a boar, and we wanna ride a boar. One of the things that is required to run this game well is boar mastery, which is riding a boar well. So that quest will let us use our boar mastery, and then finally we buy a sword, the lily leaf blade. And we'll wait a little bit to equip that. There's a more optimal time to equip it than now, coming up in a few minutes. So yeah, I'll try to use this this travel section here into the next dungeon to try to explain what I'm about to do in the next dungeon, because it's going to look very random. But I guess in the games there's this concept of voiding, right? Where so you fall down into a pit or somewhere in abyss, and then or water, and you get respawned somewhere. So this dungeon area has a bunch of different checkpoints, so that depending on the last checkpoint you touched, you will get respawned at that checkpoint if you void out. So what we're going to try to achieve here is skipping every single checkpoint in the dungeon, so that by the time I need to return to the entrance, I can just void out instead of having to walk all the way back or do any sort of movement to get back. The first one is the only one that you don't have to get in order to do this, but it does save time because it skips like a cutscene and camera movement and all that stuff. Also, any drops that aren't out of the way here, I'm gonna go for if they happen to be there. This is like one of the few exceptions where you actually do want to like go out of your way, or not go out of your way, but grab a drop that's like not in the town. It looks like I didn't get anything, so that's okay. All right, here we go. So this is the first one here. It's a little too far to the left. So as long as you don't get like the cutscene, it's not that big of a deal. You can just try again.
Yeah, it's like it's avoiding the ground trigger for it.
There we go.
But
So normally there'd be dialogue there, but we know we got that. Here's the next one. That might be a little too far right, but we'll see. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think at this point, were there meant to be enemies that spawn?
Yeah, so enemies spawn. Okay, so I missed it anyway. So we'll do the old way on our way back out. I just won't bother with the cutscene skips here, or the triggers. But yeah, so skipping that first checkpoint stops enemies from spawning,
Yeah.
which is minorly helpful.
I'm looking for someone who knows about the sealed verses.
So personally, like the faster way doesn't look as cool. The slower way looks cooler, so that's how we're gonna take this, is that it's cooler. All right, so we talk to the village chief here.
Well, we're here
Tells us to
from-
go away,
Wait, listen to me.
and then we try to go away, and it's not gonna work so well. So here we go. Not bad, okay. So that's the old way of doing it. Before, you know, you would just fall into the void, and then you would end up right about here. So it saves like, I don't know,
Go talk to
8 to 11 seconds, something like that. But no harm, no foul. And the way we would have normally equipped the weapon is you usually have to wait here if you end up getting the skips. So I did not mean to use that. That's fine. Another start and B mash here. Here, let's see if I can get a quick kill.
What are you waiting for, fool attacker?
She didn't lunge at me. Brutal. This is probably like the second most inconsistent fight in the entire run. Just because Kaine will just lunge everywhere, does whatever she wants, really. So if you don't get that quick kill opener, you kind of just have to roll with what you get, no pun intended. I'm going to go again here, see what we get. 3, 4, 5, and that should be good. All right. So now I got hook 1. Another Dark Blast Mash fight, so rip my hands. Jump to avoid that shockwave. So here, you don't want to exactly go as fast as possible. If you go slow enough, you can quote-unquote like skip a phase. So we're just trying to make sure we don't break this next attack gauge, this little orange thing that comes up. So yeah, so we're trying to avoid these little eggs still being alive, but it's like a second or 2 time loss. So I'll just need to make sure to jump here to avoid the shockwave from Hook's hand, just maybe like once or twice. And then the kill. Not bad.
Yeah, that's somebody wondering in chat if it's laggy, and I think the game is dropping some frames, right?
It depends on how you look at it. If you think 30 FPS is laggy, then yes, the game is lagging, and it's going to lag the whole time. Also, fun fact, I'm going to do a menu here right now.
But if that part goes, I'll cut her down like all the rest.
So you'll notice the dialogue was still going during the menu, so I effectively lost no time to do that menu. But after that cutscene, I get the most important magic in the run. So that means
A half-human and a giant shade.
we do the menu again. So in this speedrun, it's faster to do 2 menus than 1, which is, especially when they're back-to-back, kind of weird. Yeah.
I believe that menu was basically remapping the shoulder buttons to the magic? Or?
Yep, so that's the first time that we're actually using something other than Dark Blast.
Yeah.
Now we're going to try to beat this boar here so we can earn his trust and ride him.
Have you the skill to hunt one of those down?
Maybe. They're pretty angry.
And then we're just going to do, you know, the 1, 2, 3 charge strat here.
None of you will leave this place alive.
All right, that was really good.
Calm down. You cannot prevail if you are blinded
Excuse
with
me.
rage.
Like, actually no one invited these shades, which is kind of disappointing. And speaking of disappointing, I unfortunately got the worst drop from that boar. So yeah, money isn't great, but we can work with anything. So and then yeah, it happens to be quicker to jump in the water after that boar instead of rolling all the way back to town, since you get a little bit of a shortcut here. So that's why I jumped off afterwards. Yeah, the drops aren't great, but it's not a big deal at all. So for the longest time, like 2 or 3 years for running this game, I really focused on getting a weapon, a really, really strong weapon early in the run. But as time goes on, as Devil Snake joined the community, I think we pretty much just came to the conclusion that getting that weapon only saves at most like 20 seconds, maybe. Maybe a little less. There's like 3 tiny, tiny little fights are the only fights that you really benefit from it. So the program I have here is more designed for if you have a bunch of money, trying to optimize, you know, which things you buy. But when you don't have so much money, you just put all of your money in shop equipment. So that's what we'll end up doing. All right, so Yona's tummy hurts. So now we have to deal with that. You'll find that for the majority of the run, the theme is go talk to Yona, then go talk to Popola. Then go do something, then go talk to Popola, then go talk to Yona, then go talk to Popola again. So if it seems like I'm doing that a bunch, I am. And if it seems like it'd be really easy to get lost, it is. Do I talk to Popola? Did I already talk to Popola? Did I talk to Yona? Do I have to talk to Yona this time? So I told Popola, my daughter's sick. And she said, go catch a fish. So now we're gonna go catch a fish.
Okay, there is another $10 donation.
Great time for it.
From Devil Snake 74.
I know that guy.
Good luck on your run, mate. I'm glad to see this game on a big event. In words of Nathan Explosion, brutal. I don't know if you have to pronounce that a certain way.
No, it's
Okay.
it's exactly how it sounds.
Okay.
I tend to say the word brutal a lot, and I happen to like the band Deathclock. Put 2 and 2 together. Nathan Explosion is the singer, so. Yeah, Devil Snake 74, like I said, he joined this community and started doing the speedrun about 6 to 9 months ago and completely, and from a world record perspective, revolutionized it. So as I prepared to relearn this run for this marathon, there's so many new things I had to learn, all good things, and so many of the things make things more consistent, or at least helps us understand what's going on. Anyway, this is the Moonrise fight. 2 fists is as good as it gets, so that was excellent. So many drops. How can I even keep track? Wow. 2 used coloring and a strength. Pretty good. Yeah, Devil Snake was actually, I had asked him to do a race with me for this event, and he wasn't able to make it. So I'm pretending like I'm racing him right now, and I think he's winning.
So we just got our first word. Is that use that all in a run?
It's a good question. If any of y'all out there are familiar with Kingdom Hearts, it's kind of like abilities in Kingdom Hearts, except not as exciting at all. We will equip words later in the run, but not for like another hour and a half or so. All the words up until this, like in the first half of the game, are just not really worth equipping. Even like, I think I even got like the best word you could probably get at this point in the run, which is like attack plus 2% or attack plus 4%, which like just doesn't change the bottom line. So it's just not worth equipping until it's something much better later, hopefully. All right, so as Popola said, we got to catch a fish to save our daughter. So now we're doing that. There's a 10% chance that we don't get the fish that we want, and I'll be able to tell before we even start reeling in the fish if it's good. So that double bob there means that we got the right fish. This is fishing. Sometimes you got to go a little to the left, sometimes a little to the right. It's a lot of fun.
Every great game has fishing.
That's like, I didn't believe it, but I'm starting to.
Yeah.
Jump over this lady for fun. Oh, well. I jump over the lady so that you get this. It gives you a really easy side roll setup leaving here. It's not as fast by maybe like a second, but if you mess up the side roll leaving the other way, then it's slower. So, see, I get an immediate side roll because I don't have to deal with like a 180-degree camera switch and stuff like that. So the old lady, which I have to help now because NieR wants to help everyone, has said that I need to get a postcard from the mail for her. There's the letter. Let's see if I can get some cool movement here, huh? Nope. You have to do a perfect 3 o'clock analog stick there. That doesn't really work, so. So yeah, now it turns out we meet the old lady here. And where'd she go? So now we have to check the lighthouse, because naturally that's where old ladies go to hide. At least in my experience.
Is there time for a donation again?
Definitely.
Okay, there's $25 from Roxas. NieR is the best game ever made, and watching the speedrun reminds me of exactly why that is. But in fast forward, in honor of my perspective on the shades flipped upside down between first and second playthroughs, the runner must play upside down. Thanks, y'all.
How much was that donation?
$25. I believe that's the correct amount for the upside down.
It is? All right. Let me think about the best place I could possibly do that. Because, again, as I mentioned earlier in the run, one of the really important parts of this run is boar mastery. You can't just learn to ride a boar anywhere. And it's a pretty specialized skill set. So riding a boar, pretty difficult. Now, after I get off the boar, we might be able to work something out. So maybe give me like 2 or 3 minutes and I'll consider it.
So one of the options we can give onto you is to split that 5 minutes of upside down time. So if there are a couple of segments you want to do it across, we can do a minute here and there, the total 5 minutes.
I think I can do the next dungeon upside down. So I'll try it. I'd like to do it in one go. Or at least I'd like to try to do it in one go. Just not on the boar though. It's called mastery for a reason. Like, it's not free.
So instead of $25, $250 for upside down boar riding.
I would do upside down boar riding for $250 if there's a brave soul out there. Ugh. Okay, see, like I almost crashed the boar. You have to like drift the boar before you think you should drift the boar. It's very easy to crash the boar. I'm not just joking about boar mastery. It's pretty difficult to do reliably. All right, so before I fall into the water here, by the way, yeah, NieR can't swim. Yeah, I break those boxes. There's like, I don't know, 20% chance that one of those can be a magic drop. And I guess we can talk about that shopping menu I did in the seafront there. I sold everything that we've gotten so far, hence the reason for tracking everything I've gotten so far, to buy things called drops. Yeah, they're items called drops. It's weird. And they're strength and magic drops, so they obviously increase strength and magic respectively by double for 30 seconds. So that's how we maximize DPS for the whole run. If you get really good money, the idea is that you buy all the drops you need for the run, except for the last like 20 minutes right there. I didn't get the greatest money, so, which is fine. I pretty much got 2 less drops than the perfect run would ever have. I just won't be able to get that weapon I was talking about earlier, which should be fine. All right, so where am I going? When in doubt, go talk to Popola. She probably wants us to do something, you know. Side roll up the stairs, side roll up the wall. I missed the side roll up the wall. And we didn't get any drops in Area 1 either. Usually you're relying on at least getting one drop there, and those drops are the most lucrative in the game. So to not get any is kind of a shame, but it's okay. So yeah, there's bad news at the Area, so we gotta go check out the Area, but not before going somewhere else unrelated. So we're gonna go somewhere else unrelated first. Oh no! That's fine. So 5 minutes upside down. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. In total 5.
Can a human do that? 5 minutes upside down? Is there anyone that's done it that's human?
Perfectly vertical.
So another side roll in 2D space here. You had another perfect meshing, of my opinion, of like 2D and 3D here. Like you've gone from this big 3D open world to now all of a sudden playing like a side-scrolling platformer. There's so many different inspirations this game takes, so you're gonna see everything in this run from like shoot 'em up games like shmups, text adventure games, platformers like that. There's a lot. What the hell am I doing, y'all? Is this acceptable? Is this acceptable?
Oh yeah,
does
like
this satisfy the
that,
upside down?
That doesn't
part?
look anywhere worse than anything else we've seen this event.
Okay, perfect.
I think you're doing a
As
great
long as
job.
it's not a net negative for the experience, I'm here for it. All right, so the boys here have asked us. This is impossible. The boys here have lost their mother. I guess that's the second trip. This is not possible. Who did this?
You're doing great.
Yeah, I forget why they're asking us to go in here. Oh yeah, titanium alloy. Yeah, there's some rare drops in here. But they're scripted rare drops.
Power source is still operational.
So we just go get them guaranteed and bring them back. So yeah, as you all are learning live, there's a mechanic in this game called wall kicks, and they are entirely useless. Like actually legitimately no use for them, and they only make things worse. I'm gonna try to do some tech here. I kind of forgot there's tech here. So instead of pushing this box, I'm gonna try to do this. Yeah. If you can believe it, I have not practiced this upside down. Okay, not bad. Does anyone have an idea of the timer as to when I don't have to do this anymore? Okay, great.
Almost a minute and a half in.
Perfect.
Believe it or not.
I don't know where I am.
Time travels slower when you're upside down, believe me.
It does?
That's been my experience.
So a human has done this.
Not like this, they haven't.
What? What do you mean not like this? Is there a different upside down? There's a different upside down, isn't there?
Everyone's got their own style.
They do? I feel like I feel like I'm missing something.
You would think that upside down is upside down.
Right. That's like, I thought we were on the same page. So as you can see, these rooms here, we get trapped. That's why I elected to do it here, just because, you know, we can chill for a minute, right? And if you haven't noticed, I'm killing all the enemies and picking up all their drops. That's just because we quite literally need every single drop to be able to afford what we need in the run from this dungeon specifically. Holy hell, y'all. Side roll upside down. All right. I have something to call home about now, at least. All right.
I feel like you're getting used to this already. Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
Well, I mean, you're putting me entirely to shame. Like,
Well,
I literally mashed
as
text
if.
boxes and went in and out of a menu for 5 minutes. You're doing incredibly dynamic movement.
See, that's action RPGs for you. They don't teach you how to do it upside down. You just have to practice.
One of my grand
Or I guess raw skill. But as you can see, the raw skill part isn't working out so well right now.
It must be weirder now that it's both.
And I missed 2 drops, so that's okay. Oh my god. How do I get this? Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, I have a question. The person that asked me to do this upside down, have they ever done this upside down? How do you leave the room upside down? We did it, y'all. I hope this is... Okay, just get to the room and we can chill for a minute. Please? Great. Matako, how much time do I have left in this state?
You have less than a minute.
Less? Wow, time really does fly when you're upside down.
I thought it was the other way around, but...
Oh wait, you said time is longer when you're upside down?
It fluctuates.
So it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, on
Okay.
balance.
Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm gonna die. Whoo! Oh, I have no healing. Thank you for your $25 donation.
Okay, what's the
15
continue
seconds?
system like?
Okay, that's not
Are?
bad.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty bad, actually. Is the timer up?
You may now return to your preferred position on the couch.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you're getting some extra time.
Proceeds to stay upside down.
It's a power move.
Yeah, like this one's for style.
Oh, whoa! That's blood. To the dome. All right.
By the way, we do also have a $10 donation from the last Baron 6000. Brilliant game and brilliant skill from Skate2. Gotta try some of these techniques next time I play.
Yeah, they don't teach you this at speed camp.
Thank you all for putting on this amazing event. Is it for $10 we get like... I don't know how that goes. Matako, tell us.
Do whatever you want. all you have to do, you just summon production and things happen.
All right.
one of my
Good.
grand stature.
You sure do like to complain, Vice.
Where am I?
And we are getting pretty close to the ice cream boat challenge. So I don't know if Zero is found here. When would it happen if it gets met?
Yeah, so once we hit the 3750, we will be doing that tomorrow. I think after having had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and what? I don't think anyone will get that reference. Then yeah, we'll hit up the ice cream boat challenge tomorrow. We'll set a desk and everything. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, and that will be so we have acquired these ice cream boats, so they're like boat-shaped ice cream, and I believe it's like eating them with like a fork and like eating 6 of them as fast as possible, and yeah, Zero Scar is the best at that. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's about, and then we might have some other people try their hand at it or their mouth at it.
So yeah, these last two here, they both give titanium alloys. That's the item that the brothers asked us to get, and there was one in the other direction. So now we can just leave. Why not? Either I didn't, no, okay. I think I was upside down when I walked through here last time. Remember those wall kicks?
So I suppose when you hit continue, you don't retain like anything you acquired. You just go back in time.
Well, so, yeah, no, that's pretty much exactly right.
Yeah.
So I'd already grabbed like one of the titanium alloy before I game overed, but I didn't have the last two. But when I respawned, I didn't have it anymore. So you pretty much just have to do everything again, and that includes. It's funny, right? So if you game over like that, it's just like you said, you don't retain any of the drops that you picked up. But what it does do is it charges you for all the items that you used. So you don't get any of the items that you used back, and you don't get any of the items you picked up. So kind of the worst of both worlds.
I see, I see.
All right, so now that we've gotten 3 titanium alloys so that the brothers can upgrade our weapon, now they said that their mother is lost. So we have to go find their mommy. I think I know where to look.
Deep
So.
inside the mountain, right?
They gave us a elevator key code or something, so now we can use the elevator.
Growing up without parents is tough. I just want to help however I can.
B1. So still killing all the shades in this dungeon. Like I said, we pretty much need every single drop that we can get. Kill this guy around the corner, otherwise he'll fall down and then it's just a mess. Alright. So there can be some RNG with these next couple rooms. So these turrets, sometimes they can take a long time to spawn, and then when you beat a turret, they spawn a bomb and they also can take some time to spawn. Like this one, okay, not too bad. I mean, so that's a bit like, it's like a C tier, right? Not so great, but you passed, right? To break down this door. All right, so this is one of 2 minecarts we get to ride in the run. I hope you all enjoy it. The unfortunate part of this minecart is that we want to beat all the enemies, but unfortunately they're too strong for us to just hold Dark Blast. So we have to manual Dark Blast every single one if we want to kill them. Luckily, I pretty much have their locations routinely planned out. In case it's not clear, so right now I'm holding right on the analog stick, now holding up on the left analog stick. So you have to guide the cart if you want it to go faster, and then I'm using the right analog stick to aim the Dark Blast, which I'm also mashing with my my right finger for right bumper. So you kind of have to do all these at the same time. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but just like boar mastery, there's some things that you just have to accept you have to get good at. I try to prioritize these turrets on the wall. They give like a couple extra experience more than these sk84uhlivin machines, but now I'll do a little jumpy poo here, so we don't have to wait for the cart to go all the way. So this will be the other room with the turrets and the bombs. So you can see one of them didn't spawn because so there's 2 fences we have to break down now, in contrary to the 1 fence we had to break down before. So now we just get to wait until a bomb spawns. So it's really bad luck, you know, when the second bomb spawns in the same spot as the first one. That one still hasn't spawned until now. Like, it's just RNG. Like, even though it's an action RPG and there's a lot of action and not so much turn-based stuff, like there's a lot of RNG. Not a lot, but it's fair share of RNG for an action RPG. All right, so this is going to be the Geppetto fight. This is a fight that I've never really contributed to. Devil Snake and Evil Ash are the ones that kind of set this up. So we're going to start with a double charge lance, a single lance, and then when the hand comes down, a big old fist. Back in the day, the hand would go all the way to the left, and then you kind of have to do like some shooting over to the left. So now this is the second phase with the ads here. The idea is that they all come to me, right? And then I fist them. That was a really bad fist, but if you can get it in 2 like that, no problem. I'm trying to still collect all the drops during this fight. Like I said, everyone really does matter. It was a really nice fist.
How about you stop talking and
I use Dark Hand and Dark Fist interchangeably. You'll have to forgive me. All right, not a bad phase. All right, so now part 3 here. I'm gonna kill all these turrets with Dark Blast, rolling, aiming, and moving. Also not very easy. Like, it's 4 buttons you're having to manage on. It's wild. All right, so pay very close attention to Grimoire Vice, our book companion, his dialogue here. It's very, very funny. So I use a magic drop, 2 fists to the dome. So remember, magic has no effect against the head.
Clearly not.
Or maybe it does. That's why you don't listen to books, right? Who has ever learned anything from a book?
So there is another donation, and I'm not sure if you want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
I'm willing to take the consequences.
There is $25 from Fraud. If you do the whole run upside down, is it Australian %? Good luck, Skate.
If you change the time zone, I think I would allow it.
But you know, another 5 minutes.
Wait, is that what are you asking for Australian % or?
That was $25.
If you want to play the game, you can get clarification in chat, and you can interpret the message how you want. That sounded to me like someone was just referring to Australians being upside down.
That if whomever that was confirms that's what they want in chat, I'll do it. But look, I'm not a fan of game over screens. If you are, I will provide it. Really hard to pick a time though, but I will provide it.
Chat says tell him it was
Yeah.
Rod G.
The person who donated, was their name Rod G?
Yeah, it said Fraud here, so yeah, I believe it must be the same person.
Have fun, Skate.
Rod, you know me. Why would you? Okay, I literally can't do it in this section. Like, quite literally cannot.
What are you
Let me do it
doing
after
here?
this section. And thank you for your donation. I'll see you when I get back.
Yes, and I do believe that a heartfelt thank you is in order.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Could have caused these shades to appear in such force.
I don't know. But they're all over the village, too.
All right, so yeah, you have to kill those 4 shades to be able to progress. Now we'll be doing Hook Part 2. It's gonna be a lot more mashing, and we'll be going for a quick kill here at the end. This section has it all, though. It's got the shmup bullets, it's got 2D action, it's got a Kingdom Hearts DM, if you know, you know.
Oh, I know.
It's got everything.
So I believe this is meant to be Kaine's grandma?
I don't know.
Rot it!
I know, yeah, that's correct. It's Kaine's grandma's shade. If I had to describe it, that's probably what I would come up with. All right. Oh yeah, how can I forget? We're gonna do a little movement tech too. So normally you gotta fall down here and then climb the ladder back up, but if you do this just right, like that, then maybe throw one of those in there too, then you're good. So now we'll do 1, 2, and then mash. Wait until the attack gauge comes up. Jump, fist, mash. All right, so now we got this 2D section. We're gonna have to do it like half of it blind. Imagine doing it upside down, right? But we have to do it blind because Hook is gonna be in the way. So let's see if I can pull this off. I wanna stay on the top floor is effectively what I'm going for. All right, we got it. Fist to break the attack gauge. Lance to break all the eggs. Jump, mash, jump, mash. So the fact that I even beat Hook there before she even stopped is a really, really good 2D section. Get them out of the way. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to go for a quick kill here. I have to be pretty precise in terms of making sure I don't use too much magic at the wrong time, so I'll set up with a magic drop. Fist to the face, to fist to the face, and then mash. So I want to finish that attack gauge with an attack instead of magic so that as soon as this starts I can go up to the face, mash, or fist, and then mash. And there's normally a DM here, but if you do all this perfectly, you get the attack gauge before the DM, like just before the DM goes off. So that's the quick kill for Hook 2.
And just like a Kingdom Hearts game, we're skipping DMs.
Yeah,
This is the exact same as any Kingdom Hearts. DM.
exactly.
Perish where she lies. And in truth,
Square Enix action RPG, I mean.
Yeah, we do happen to have some people experienced with Kingdom Hearts speedrunning here in the couch.
You don't get to decide who lives.
But we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hello, Yuda.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is nearly the same.
Wait, spoilers. I haven't played that far yet.
It's not.
DMs.
It's only spoilers if you actually know how to explain the story.
The problem is, like I don't know if I have seen that, but if Dennis says so, then it must be true.
You also can't even spoil yourself because it's so hard to understand that you'll forget how to make sense of what you saw.
All right, timer. Here we go. 5 minutes.
Can someone knowledgeable in chat send a donation with facts about blood rushing to your head? Is it safe? Should you do it on a daily regimen to keep your health in good spirits? I'd love to know. Like, I'm not trying to knock the upside down thing. Like, if it's going to benefit my health, I mean, I'm game.
You're doing something.
Here's the problem, is this right here. This would be amazing if I can do this upside down.
You're doing something actively using your brain and getting more blood to it. That sounds only beneficial to me.
There was a study done in America about 20 years
ignore
ago.
it. Where do I go?
Hold it on. We had that girl help us.
Is it this way?
We need to get.
I legitimately, I cannot tell. Alright, I guess I'll just walk. Thank you for your donation, Rod.
Yeah, I think you got this. This is the way.
Is it? Okay, that's the one.
Yeah, best $25 ever, they're saying.
I think I've spent a better $25.
Look, they appreciated that.
Yeah. If they appreciate it, then I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can
Everyone-
tell you, like in the past, I have vetoed the system by counter donating against things before. So I'm happy to impose a house rule.
So I have 3,000 Swedish kroner in my wallet. Do we take live donations?
We have done that before.
But let me guess, the moment I turned upside down, you kind of stopped doing that?
I mean, I'll accept your money. I will store it in a very safe Swedish bank account.
And the cash goes to Make-A-Wish, right?
Oh yeah, obviously.
In a Swedish bank account.
Well, it might be from a different bank account, but yes, definitely from a Swedish bank account.
How much time do we have left?
2.5 minutes.
What's Facade?
It might take me a whole minute to find my wallet. Like,
Let's just leave it at that.
oh, so I can't run into this fountain. Where's the fountain?
Monsters in her undergarments.
Let's go.
Hey, not bad. There was a whole fountain there and I missed it.
Wolves. Look out.
Can I get this camera set up? That would be really cool.
What's that?
Oh, I did it too early.
Peter's moon is a scorpion.
I'm just gonna regular roll until I get it then. So now,
Wait.
side roll, right?
That one appears to be the pack leader.
At least I don't have to go all the way up the stairs. I still do have to make this. Made it.
Nice.
Those-
Oh, this is going to be difficult. Okay, no, okay. How amazing would it be if I just got this anyway, right? And then
Come on, guys. Help me out here.
I am a brilliant
Oh.
unspeakable value. Not some dog-eared travel guide.
okay, that's pretty. Can your homies do that upside down? I'd probably not.
All these stairs. I couldn't have made this more needlessly complicated.
You don't say.
We'd best. Elsewise, we'll be ascending and descending stairs until doomsday.
So yeah, this is Yona. She's a cute little girl who spilled her her fruit this time. We're gonna pick up the fruit and help her. Upside down.
Ten seconds and counting.
Oh, that's amazing news.
But,
And 3, 2, 1.
Thank goodness.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Is everyone else dizzy?
No, I can't say I am.
Constantly.
I just see how red your face is now.
Yeah, I'm real embarrassed.
Oh, Skate, you're blushing.
That's what it does to you.
All right, so yeah, Fear has been giving us a tour of the town since it's one of like, I don't know, 100,000 rules in town. That's kind of like their shtick. Oh, I got the god spot too. If you can get a particular spot there, we get to talk to Fear and then talk to the other guy without having to move. It's pretty nice. So yeah, as I alluded to, if you get a really good set of drops and need a lot of money, we go over there and buy one of the best single-handed weapons in the game, Beastbane. But because we didn't get enough money, we are not going to buy it, and we'll buy it later. Now, normally what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to come here and save and quit the game, and it prevents us from having to wait for Fira to walk all the way over here. But I've decided instead to give you all a special treat. You're not going to see this anywhere else. This is a trick I like to call floating NieR. You don't really get to see NieR float so much, but you will today. Hey!
Oh.
Thank you.
Looks like all those rules are getting in the way.
this is their.
You.
What?
All right. So, someone lost their mask or something, so we got to go to the most dangerous place around to go find it. Always happens that way. It's so silly. And unfortunately, Fearware has to go with us to show us where it is, and she's really slow, so we're going to have to just take our sweet time and escort her across this desert. Which is fine. At least she doesn't make me do it upside down. That would be a pain. Actually, this would be a really bad time to do that. Okay, I'm going to go for it. There's a drop over there that's really, really, really hard to get, but I'm going to go for it.
Are we leaving the girl behind?
That might be too late. And it's the worst drop possible, of course. Okay, we got it. Very nice. Any frames later than that, and that's probably not working, so I get reset all the way back to the beginning, which isn't that far, you know, but time loss is time loss.
Okay, and there is another $25
I bet there is.
from Loch Ness. You've got this, buddy. Australian Percent Part 2. Let's go. I've got your next drink at Senor's.
You know what's... we were talking about me blushing earlier. What's real embarrassing is losing all my friends live on stream, right? Like, it's real embarrassing. I legitimately can't do this upside down until I'm done with this dungeon. This is the only part of the run that has legitimate rules. Like, the game gives you rules. I can't just break the rules. So, I will honor it at some point after the dungeon, as long as someone reminds me and I don't forget, because I'm pretty forgetful.
I'm sure they'll be happy to remind you in chat.
Yeah. I'm sure they will not forget.
But we are now just $48 short from the ice cream boat challenge. So if we meet that, we'll set it up for tomorrow.
I'd like to think I'm the benefactor of the ice cream challenge in my upside down endeavors.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to help. This is definitely going to Make-A-Wish International, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then we're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're good.
I mean, the ice creams aren't like those are for us. But there will be
Yeah.
there will be a toast in your name.
And no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Put it in Fira's name. Look at her go. Go, Fira, go. Who's got the dongers?
If we hit 5,000, we'll do the boat challenge upside down.
Now we're talking. All right, so this is the toughest one. I need to do 2 fists here. All right, so I would really like for all of them to have hit at least the wolves once. So now I try to have to mitigate this with Dark Blast. All right, not bad. I'll try to loot the wolves while I'm here.
So at this point, is it really just magic, or do you still use physical attacks?
The only time we're really using physical attacks is to supplement magic attacks. So, yeah, pretty much from here on out, at least for the first half of the run, it's all magic based. There are gonna be some parts that we will have to supplement with attacks. But like, for example, the boss at the end of this dungeon can only be damaged by magic. So, not to mention most of the things we're about to do in this dungeon can only be damaged by magic. So, here's the shtick, right? We got the Barren Temple, right? Each of these rooms have some rules that we have to follow. So like, don't use magic, don't jump, don't swing, don't stand still. The one in this room is going to be to not jump. Leaping Rabbit, right? What does a Leaping Rabbit do? It jumps. So here's a new strat Devil Snake came up with here, right? You hold this, you let your magic recharge, and as soon as it does, a 2, a 3, and it just goes right through the box. I don't understand it, but it works, so we take it. Yeah, if one of the rules was upside down, you know I would do it. But it's not one of the rules.
To protect his people and yet they toil to save him. I think that tells us
Oh,
everything.
Devil Snake, if you're watching this, someone said in chat that I didn't show a second game over screen. I didn't commit to it, but it did remind me. I wonder if you can game over right here and skip this dialogue, maybe not. If you feel like testing that sometime, let me know. So yeah, we can't open this door until all that dialogue's done. You can. There you go. But the problem is damaging yourself down to be low enough HP so that when you fall in and maybe like 1 or 2 hits, that it's still faster is probably not realistic. But so that one, any of these cubes, as long as you stand on top of it, it breaks the cube, which is pretty convenient. Oh. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly. All right, go for a little slidey poo here. That wasn't exactly the slidey poo I wanted, but it's fine. That's a better slidey. All right. All right, so this is the hardest room in my opinion. The rule is that you can't run, and pretty much everything starts with a run. So what I'm going to attempt to do here is a double jump side roll in place. And if I can do it just right, and just fast enough. You just barely missed that bullet. All good. All right, one of the only swag strats. I mean, it's technically not a swag strat. It might save like microseconds. But I gotta break this box. I'm gonna try to jump back over my set of boxes before it's done. Ah, I missed the jump. Like I said, like I'll show you what you get if you were to make that jump. So I mean, you're at that door, you know, like what, a half second sooner. It might be not even that. But it's swag, right? All right, rule for this room is no magic, so we're just gonna go along our merry way. Double jump, single jump the other way, swing. You don't have to do the little swing, but. If I can just take 5 seconds, the music in this game is just, it's so good.
Oh, I've listened to this specific track like almost every day for the last like 2 years.
Absolutely, it's addicting.
Shows no signs of slowing.
All right, so the rule in here is no attacking. So I have a pretty set path for how I want to break these boxes. This is obviously the room with the most boxes in it, so there's a lot to break and a lot of different ways you could route this room. So you kind of just have to go with what you know, really. I got this really good. Really, really nice room. We're gonna go for another slidey poo in the 2D plane. All right, not bad. I hope there's a drop in this little area. That would be convenient, right? No drop. Okay. Oh, there is a drop. I'm gonna go for it. And that's what we want. Okay. So a little bit of a spoiler. We want a really, really nice weapon. 2/3 of the way through the run, and it costs a lot of money. So any money helps. But there's a backup quest we can do, and one of the things you have to do to be able to perform the backup quest is to get a crystal. So that just saves us the money of having to buy a crystal. The rule in this room: don't roll. It's really hard to instinctively just not, you know, roll because you do it the entire run, right? So we just pop a magic drop. Oh, did one of my fists miss or something? All right, I probably just didn't do a double. No big deal. I probably just did a single fist instead of a double or something. All right, so that guy drops a drop. Let's see if we can get it. Go. Get a nice little side roll out of the back roll. See the nice little music transition, everything gets somber. I wonder what's going to happen, right? Like, same song there, right? Like, it's beautiful. All right, this on the other hand, probably the most consistent boss in the run. But it does require skill. It's just consistent if you have the skill. All right, so we're gonna be using Dark Lances for phase 1 and 3. We're gonna try to hit 2 cubes at a time. Otherwise, it's gonna be 1 cube a pop. So like this and like this. Oh, I missed just barely on the left or on the right. All right, no big deal.
What is this?
So normally you're supposed to like hold Dark Lance so you can aim, but if you kind of use like the gap, like if you were to make a 90-degree angle between NieR's left shoulder and his head, that's pretty much where it aims. So I try to use that as a point of reference. This is gonna be tough to get in a 2-2. Let's see. All right, not bad. Oh, yeah, I gotta go.
guardian of this temple is a very sight indeed.
Says the talking book.
Oh, and you gotta go, you gotta go.
This is still a dry run, y'all. We are good. No worries there. Takes a lot of practice, but we're good.
This
Someone didn't wash his hands. Someone didn't go.
Don't get
All right? You can't do hand wash skip in Europe. Someone's tried. It didn't work.
though you were simply lost.
Fuck off, book.
So yeah, this phase is just the two fists from Sharier here. That's the name of the boss, Sharier. You just jump over the shockwave and then a big fist. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit. Uh-oh, this could be a problem. Go, and then. Okay, no problem. Sharier phase 3. Now instead of the cubes being horizontal, now they're more of a vertical orientation. So a little bit harder to aim, but I think we can pull it off. You gotta wait a little bit until it starts. The cubes have iframes for like, I don't know, a second, something arbitrary. All right. Yeah, exactly. Upside down will be after this boss. Shame. So fortunately, if you miss any of these cubes, it's not like it messes up a cycle or anything like that. Each lance takes like, I don't know, like 2.2, 2.3 seconds or something like that. Not a big deal. But these last two phases, I try to do the first one with the lance and then pick it off with a dark blast manually fired. It's technically faster if your aim's good. Yeah, you need boar mastery and blast mastery, it turns out. But all right, same thing here. I try to move after each one of these cubes breaks too, because they shoot out these little bullets. Not bad. All right, I'm gonna cheat and turn upside down now if you want to start that timer. Maybe put it at like 4:45. You know, I've probably been upside down for 15 seconds so far.
Real. I'm counting it based off of the timer on our V-stream here.
Oh.
So
Well, 15 seconds less than that. I've been upside down for at least a minute.
Sure,
so.
126-ish.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
You do?
Yeah, I'm counting backwards now.
Oh.
Okay, we do also have a $100 donation
Wow.
from Trial Force.
Trial Force. Wow. Okay. You know what? Please read. Please read.
Yeah, it says, Skate, happy to see you. Best of luck on your run.
Thank you so much, Trial Force. Yeah, Trial Force. I've probably talked to Trial Force in the past 10 years of speedrunning. I've probably talked to Trial Force 4 times. This might be the 4th time I've talked to Trial Force. But yeah, when I was first starting stream, I did not have a computer that allowed me to stream. And as a result of that, this guy who I've never met in my life, Trial Force, decided to help me out with getting a PC. And who knows, if it wasn't for Trial Force, I might not be here right now doing this run for you. So Trial Force is a real one. Thank you so much for your donation, Trial Force. I ran into the fountain. I said not to go into the fountain. I don't know how I missed it. Like, I've never ran into that fountain before. Oh, it's because I'm upside down. Never mind.
I fear for the future of Facade, no matter how good his
Yeah, with that donation, we did meet the ice cream boat challenge now, so
Yo.
we will be setting it up for tomorrow. So thank you very much for all the donations during this run. We met that incentive real fast.
There are as many ways to view the world as there are people in it.
Where? Oh my gosh.
to have learned something on this journey.
So imagine if I was far away as possible from where I needed to be.
What do you think?
Just pretend, right?
Well, now I gotta figure out strats to make the ice cream boat challenge easier. I gotta like dehydrate myself or something. Like,
What?
you really have
I'm sorry. dehydrate yourself?
Yeah, I feel like
You know it's not a real boat.
Wait,
right?
no, it's not a bodybuilding show. It's like, yeah, I need to carb load the day before, and I need to consume salt 10 minutes before to get my veins popping.
is it just me, or is like ice cream the best when you're super thirsty?
The 60 out fat load.
From what
2
I've
days.
heard, the main issue is the brain freeze. So apparently the solution is to not have brain. But I don't know how that
I know
works.
so many people that would be good at that.
One nation under ice.
Yeah. I grab a 700 here, and then I'll grab a 700 next time I come back here. All right. So, as I alluded to earlier, in a not upside down state, this game takes a lot of inspiration from a bunch of different genres of game: action RPG, regular RPGs, shoot 'em ups, 2D games, Resident Evil style games. But one of the ones that's pretty unique that it takes inspiration from are text adventures. So this game not only has one text boss, it has 2 text bosses. And we're about to head on our way to yeah, remember when I said this is like the hardest movement in the so yeah, as soon as I can figure out where I am, we're gonna talk to Popola and then head on over to the text boss. I need help. This is impossible.
You may, as and when you choose, assume the position.
I haven't heard that in like a week. Wait, so when you say assume the position, does that mean that my 5 minutes is up? Or are you just saying that because you...
Both. I'm trying to be subtle because we're, on stream, but...
Yeah, I was making sure that wasn't your cue to say my time was up, is what I'm saying. So you just wanted me to assume that... Okay, I got you now.
Well, I'm glad you understood.
Yeah. As I get older, I've come to learn that back and spine health is really important. You should have just gotten me drunk. It'd be looking about similar to this, without the neck pain.
You do know your time has been up for like a minute already, right?
Whoa. We had a whole conversation. You said assume the position.
We hadn't understood. You said you understood.
Well, I asked, is my time up, or did you just want me to assume the position? And I think you said something along the lines of, I think you understand.
I said both.
Oh, you said both. Okay.
Just get up already.
Oh my god! Can I borrow your thigh for like 3 seconds? Is that okay? It might be more like 30 seconds. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that is perfect. Oh, thank you. I just need a minute, I'm sorry. Alright.
Those are my headphone wires stuck.
Oh, do you need me to lift up?
No, it's fine, I got it.
I can do up, down, upside down, whatever you want.
Like at this point, we're just being comfy.
You are?
No, you are.
Oh.
Okay. Like that was just your choice to do that.
It was?
Huh?
It sure is quiet.
It was my choice to do that?
Not the part where you're like,
There's trouble on the
use the pillow, That part.
All right, so as I said, one of 2 text bosses in the run. If you don't know what a text boss is, you have to defeat the text. And by defeating the text, it means answering the questions correctly by reading the story. And I've gotten really good at reading the story. It's a secret. Sunlight. A man.
That's cheek.
All right, so that is 1 text boss of 2 in this run defeated. We did great, yo. All right. Lore. So, since we left town and then when we get back to town, all of this is a dream. Yeah. You know, there's like all those RPGs out there, like FF Town. The whole thing was a dream. This isn't the whole thing was a dream. It's just like this part was a dream. When in doubt, talk to Popola. Spoilers? Oh. There's 5 endings. They have different ending, or I guess there's 4 endings. Technically there's 5, but you gotta go read a manga or something like that. I barely know what an anime is. What other spoilers can I think of? Someone dies. Yeah. All right, so as I said, on the way back, I'm gonna grab the 700G on the right. It'll be the second to last drop we grab in the house in this run. Like I said, we try to avoid it. It's just like 700 for 5 seconds is pretty much something you take every time if you know if it's consistent. So Yona's got a pen pal, and he's a boy. So now we got to go investigate her her new pen pal. Totally not a boyfriend, as long as Dad's listening. All right, set up a side roll out of the house there. So now I'm going to shoot a bunch of bullets over here to break that box, and now we'll do something like this. Not bad, right? So it's just a little bit faster than going all the way around. So now is the time where we buy Beastbane. This is the weapon that we would like to buy early, if possible. It just wasn't possible today. So hopefully we have enough. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to keep an alloy just in case. And the crystal. That is enough. Barely. All right. So yeah, actually what we're doing is going to the next dungeon, which is the mansion, the manor. There's a butler there with bad manners. We'll call it a manor.
What would make them appear in this area in the first place?
I'm gonna crash the board, I don't know, right about there. Side roll. All right, so as I mentioned, game takes a whole bunch of inspiration from a bunch of different games. This would be the Resident Evil section. I've never played a Resident Evil game, so you'll either have to tell me or take my word for it. But at least like the first 3 Resident Evil games, I'm pretty sure like every screen you go to is a static screen where you can't move the camera really. I mean, you can move the camera like this here, but like it's a static view. So even though everything's like a static view, like right now, and right now, right? So if you're holding the same analog stick direction during these transitions, like all I'm doing is holding it in one direction, even though he's going the same direction normally, but you see the moment I move it, he kind of jerks into the direction your analog stick is actually going into. So the idea is that we're trying to just between each room, just try to hold the analog stick in the same position as much as possible, assuming we're going in the right direction. So here, I can hold it for a second, then I get this dialogue, and then now I'm trying to hold it, a little too far down. And there. So bottom line, you know, you pretty much just want to know what direction to hold the stick in before you get to the room to do this the most optimally. If we want fun facts, there's 3 primary versions of this game. There's the PS3 Japanese version of this game called NieR Replicant. There's everything but the remake called NieR Gestalt, and then there's the remake called NieR Replicant 1.22, and a bunch of other numbers. It's like the square root of 2 or something. I don't know. It's pretty silly. But each one of those 3 games has a different strat in terms of how to move fastest in the Manor here. When you're restricted to just walking, it opens up some interesting possibilities, right? So in this one, all you can do is walk. Oh, wrong way. All you can do is walk. Nothing else is really faster. In Replicant on the PS3, the fastest is to jump everywhere, which is kind of silly looking. And then I think the fastest way in 1.22 is to swing your sword where you need to go, which is pretty silly too. A lot of times people will say that there's nothing different between NieR Gestalt and NieR Replicant, like the original Replicant, and there really isn't, but there's just teeny tiny little things like that that are different. When you have a different character model and stuff like that, roll spacing is a little bit different. Most people don't even know what roll spacing means, so like if you don't know what that means, they're the same game, you know? I'm gonna go for a kill here. I'm technically short 1 strength drop, so it'd be nice to have it, but whatever, it's good. So like, example here, I'm walking up, but I was holding down on the analog stick the entire time. So the idea is like, so again, I'm holding down if this guy would get out of my way. Holding down, but I'm still going the direction I want to go to, right? So that's like Resident Evil style, you know, in terms of the gameplay. All right, so this is Grimoire Rubrum. One of the book bosses we'll be fighting in this run. So we're going to open up with a magic drop, wait a little bit, and then go for some fists, and hopefully the books break. We got the books, but you know, we also got hit too, so probably the medium result. I missed that fist, I believe. The first phase here isn't the hard part. The second phase, we're going to go for a very precise quick kill. I'll just tell you the inputs right now. You use the dark hand, he's going to roll into you, you fly back, you roll 3 swings, wait a second, 1 swing, 2 fists, and then that's the boss. So you have to do exactly that, otherwise you don't get it. So here we go. Yeah. I think I waited just slightly too long, but I mean this will be a quick 2 cycle. No big deal.
What's the plan then?
Or the silliest 3 cycle of all time. It's a very precise strat, so like Kaine was doing damage, even though I have her set on guard from when we were in the desert, so you know, I don't know what's up with that, but it's okay.
What?
I saw you exchange some words with that Emil.
Alright, this is the only time in the run where we get to call a boar. And there's a little bit of skill involved with it, right? You just want to make sure you're facing the right direction, so something like that. My steed.
Speak the truth, hussy.
And now we get to do more boar mastery.
Shut up.
Yeah, grammar advice. We've got our hands on
Not
all
bad.
the sealed verses now.
Well, now all that remains is to find this grimoire noir.
Alright.
We'll find him. I know we will.
Yep. Alright. When in doubt, go talk to Popola. That's what we're gonna go do.
Yona doesn't have the strength to fight this disease.
We must find Grimoire Noir at once. Only this.
Yeah, it's a tough one if you get it all the way to the corner there. No big deal.
And there's another $5 from Papa NieR.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Emil, best boy.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Thank you for your $5 donation, Papa NieR. I know you're real busy right now, but I really appreciate you making the time in between the side rolls. Emil can definitely be best boy today. Now, that being said, Emil is what makes or breaks world records. This obviously is not world record pace. So sometimes he's not best boy, and I hope you understand.
But today he is.
Not on world record pace yet, best boy. Best boy. All right, so this is the Vapor Moss. I don't know why Popla. I think Jonas' tummy hurts again. So we're grabbing the Vapor Moss. It's not just gonna be the Vapor Moss. It never is just the moss. Instead, it's gonna be one of the coolest boss fights in my opinion. This is one that Devil Snake. I mean, I haven't mentioned everything Devil Snake's done. He really did touch so much of this game. But this is one of the contributions that definitely sticks to me because this boss was really a mess for a long time. So now that we have a consistent strategy, although again it is very precise, like very precise, like 10th of a second, 20th of a or 2/10 of a second sort of a deal.
Shades are storming the village.
So it's gonna be a 3-phase fight. The last phase is an auto scroller. The first phase is pretty easy. The second phase is where the magic's gonna happen.
The hell?
No, go, devil. Damn.
All right, so pre-boss here, we just gotta kill these shades, or not all of them, but you know, enough for the game to say you're good,
Kill every last one.
like that. All right, we're just gonna wait in place, wait for the shockwave, jump over the shockwave, double fist, and then mash Dark Blast. So a 1, a 2, and then mash. All right, so there's a quick kill here. I'll try to explain how the quick kill works during the auto scroller because like this is very, very precise stuff. So I'm gonna go for it. Not a bit, like it's legit. Magic drop, a 1, a 2.
How will we even know if our attacks are working?
Just have to keep hitting it until
All
it
right,
stops.
wait here for a second.
We can climb up here.
If you get up here just in time. Oh, I got trapped. This isn't gonna work. Yeah, so if I didn't get trapped, that was good because the attack gauge still showed up, as you can see. But the idea is that, you know, you can skip that big thing from happening. Do I still have no healing? Okay, I have something. All right, so we got all those fists in, so that kind of makes up for the no quick kill. And again, this is still faster than what we were doing before Devil Snake, so not a big deal. So we wait for the booty bounce, got the booty bounce. All right. All right, so as I said, this is the third and final phase of Jack of Hearts is the name of this boss.
Come on, it's gotta start working.
So something I'd always wanted to see here for this auto scroller is some sort of productive thing to do during this auto scroller because I don't really like being unproductive when it comes to auto scrollers. So I'll show you what we'll do while we're waiting for this auto scroller to end. We're gonna go all the way back to where we just came from and we're gonna kill these enemies. Now, why would you kill these enemies? Enemies drop things. We like drops. So we'll try to pick off a few here. Maybe we can get a drop out of it. No drop. Okay. Like I said, though, we did most of the shopping we needed to do at like the 40-minute mark in the run. So again, we could use a drop or two, but it's nothing that's going to kill the run. Just saves a little bit of time. So we're pretty good. As long as we get back up here in time, then not a bad fight. There's worse ways to mess up that fight.
Looks
So
like you learned how to swing that thing.
you can fall in the water trying to jump off the bridge. You can get knocked off. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong. So we'll call that we'll call it a solid B. And another one. All right, that was Jack of Hearts. Not bad. All right, this is going to be our second book fight. I mean, it's like a lot of fights happening at the same time. It'll end with a book fight. This first phase is going to be a bunch of normal shades. The only thing they drop is medicinal herbs if they do drop anything like that, which never ever happens anywhere else in the run. So I'm still to this day not really sure why that is, but it definitely is. And Emil and Kaine do a surprisingly good job of doing or helping me deal with the shades here. But as you can see there, I definitely turned Kaine to guard, and she's still attacking. So what happens is if one of your allies attacks an enemy, while you're attacking it, they'll get like a little bit of iframes, so it pretty much cancels your attack. All right, so I always mash this back left tentacle. There's like exactly one spot where you can dart, or where you can use the fist and hit that tentacle, so we just don't bother, or I don't bother. So as we talked about earlier, you know, I'm not doing attacks, but you definitely need these attacks I'm doing to get enough damage to not lose time here. And now here, per the story, we're about to lose our magic, so obviously this next minute or two of combat is going to be all attacks.
Yeah, I guess while we mentioned like physical attacks here, there is one difference to note between the remake and the original version, and it's that while you're using magic, you cannot do physical attacks at the same time. So let's say you're using a magic blast, like in the remake you would actually be mashing both that and physical attacks at the same time, and that's way more strenuous.
Yeah, mashing RB is already strenuous enough if you ask me, but having to do that on top would be ridiculous. But so I definitely have respect for the runners that run that game because it's a lot. All right, gonna go for a jump here, break all the books, pop another drop, and now we can do charge attacks to deal with these phases really quickly. We'll try to use the magic that we regain from each of these phases immediately to try to like break these books so that doesn't happen. But if you get hit while doing this charge attack, then you lose the charge and you gotta start all over again. So we might as well use the magic that we have to help mitigate that. So Lance. Yeah, there's a lot of books still. Anyway. Okay. This should be Dark Hand. Nice. So just like Grimoire Rubrum, the other book boss from before. Okay. There's a quick kill here once we get to like the final phase of the fight. We're still dealing with like getting all of our magic back. So these last few phases here are just gonna be doing 2 attacks a pop.
Also, this song is definitely one of the more well-known songs from the NieR series.
I can't believe I forgot, but this is definitely my favorite song in the game. It is a banger. Quick kill. Thank you. Thank you. My heart. The people here are so nice, y'all. All right, so I mentioned the very, very beginning of the run that we never use Dark Execution in this run except for one part, and this is the one fight in the run we're going to use it on because it's already equipped, and it happens to be really good for this exact fight and this exact fight only. So I'm going to switch to Beastbane just so we get more magic damage. That's one of the big reasons we buy Beastbane is for the 40% boost in magic. So as you can see, they kind of, in a good luck situation, they kind of just line up, and it just happens to be the perfect magic to use for that fight. All right, so we got a magic word there. As you were talking about earlier, magic and attack words are things we're going to be looking for the next dungeon, pretty much. Just like tutorials, words are drops from enemies in this game. You can also find them in boxes. I don't know of a lot of games where you find tutorials from enemies, but it's a real thing. But you can also get abilities like that, just kind of a random chance per what kind of enemy you're trying to beat. So we just got magic 10 there, which in a perfect world after this next dungeon we'd have attack plus 15% and magic plus 15%, but given the nature of them being drops from enemies, nothing is guaranteed. So you can get runs that get no attack power, and you can get runs that get no magic power. If you got both, you should probably just stop playing for the day. But magic 10% is pretty much good enough for what we need. So if I weren't to get magic 15, then we're in a good spot. So I'm more focused on getting attack 15 now. And again, there's not really much I can do to influence that. You kind of just either get it or don't. And those attack obviously is pretty obvious to what it does. Magic power is really helpful for trying to get like phase skips on bosses and stuff like that coming up in the second half of the run here. I'm gonna go for some cool tech here. Let's see if I get it right. I missed it. All right. So yeah, we're trying to do this thing again. Instead of doing the sword swing, we can do this with the spear. We have a spear now. It should be noted that now that we have a spear, our new primary form of movement has changed. We don't go here yet.
Yeah, and you also get access to two-handed swords as well. I don't know how much that's used in the run.
0%. The reason we use spears in general is, one, because they do the fastest movement, and two, they do the most damage. So it kind of just works out to be the weapon of choice. We will switch to Beastbane a couple times in the next 20 or 30 minutes just for that 40% magic boost like I was talking about. This boar is, I don't know, 20% chance to be able to ride without these shades messing with me. So we just try it once, and if we don't get it, we just move on. It's not worth continuously trying, so. And it doesn't lose as much time as you think, even though this is quite obviously slower than a boar. But okay, and there's attack 10. So I mean, those are very much backup words. So if we get no words, we're in a pretty decent spot with both of our backup words. So I'm not stressing. All right, so watch this. So yeah, you know that camera switch is going to change, so you try to do that spear dash just as soon as the camera switch happens. All right, try to go for a little bit of swag here. So I'm going to try to set this up so that as soon as this dialogue is done, all I have to do is a power it, or a special right into these stairs, and it just looks cool. Here we go. I just missed. It's a tough spot. I'm not used to being so far down to the left. I'm usually like dead center, maybe up and to the right a little bit. All right, this is probably the most stressful section of the run. It's the second of what you might call like an escort quest class of an objective. So the thing is, Emil is blind, so he can't see where he's going. I can see where I'm going, therefore we have to help him get through this lab. And the problem is, if he gets too far away from you, then he gets scared. And then you have to start the entire floor all over again. And as I referred to earlier in the run, Emil makes or breaks world records. And what I forgot to grab the key, excuse me. Excuse me, thank you. So the reason he can kill or make or break runs is because he just has a mind of his own. There's not really so much you can do to influence what he does. So Devil Snake has developed some strats here. Hopefully this is good. Okay, so I'm not going to break these boxes so Emil gets trapped. And the nice thing Emil will do is he'll teleport to you if he / the game thinks that he's not going to be able to catch you. So there he is right there. So that's good. The more teleports we can get from Emil, the better. Because otherwise you're just purely waiting for him to walk, hoping he doesn't get distracted by an enemy, because of course he can't see, but of course he can kill enemies, right? So he has to be useful in some degree. So you'll see me doing like stutter steps like this a lot. That's to just try to keep the maximum distance as possible without losing track of him. So I know if I get the message there that he's falling behind, it's good. I can just continue to the end of the floor. All right, floor 2. Gonna start with a really big mob fight here of tiny shades. It's cool because I know I'm gonna get level 17 on this fight. And something that we used on Jack of Hearts, I didn't really talk about it too much, but if you gain a level, you can use your magic gauge refills. So you see I'm like just throwing fist after fist after fist. You can get like a couple more fists than normal because until your magic gauge is full, it thinks you kind of just have like infinite HP or infinite MP is the easiest way to describe it. It doesn't exactly work like that, but it's pretty close. All right, so there's magic 15, that's really good. If I get attack 15 at any point in time, I'm just gonna go ahead and probably start equipping them. So as we're talking about here, Emil just does whatever he wants, which is cool. I like doing whatever I want. Alright, so the idea for this party is I'm just going to try to run away from Emil, go straight to this card key I need to progress, and hopefully if everything goes right, Emil doesn't end up too far away. Perfect distance. Okay, so now all the enemies just funnel into this corner, and we can just go to town with Dark Hand. Being conscious of not going too far to the left since Emil is technically over to the right now. So you see how he's spinning around just doing whatever he wants. We're hoping he maybe like teleports to us. All right, now I can't go too far over there because it might cause an issue. So now we're just waiting. Sometimes he'll teleport. He's supposed to like that, so not bad. Maybe it's because I didn't kill those two enemies, but we don't exactly understand how and when Emil teleports. We just try to put him as far away as we can while still being close to him. Wait here for a second before I spawn these enemies. Sometimes on occasion he'll go back. The whole thing here, pretty much from here on out for this dungeon, is that Emil seems to ignore enemies if they have a magic barrier around them, since he can only do magic damage. I guess it makes sense, right? So in theory, if we just kill the enemies that have no magic barrier, then he'll just ignore the rest. And another teleport there is really nice. Yeah. Okay. So these two I try to pick off really quick with a fist jump spear special, and it pretty much just skewers them nice. Like Aerith and Mediterranean food, for those of you up late last night. Alright. Alright, so Emil's on his way. He's running in circles. He teleported to the same place he's at. Where is the lad? Where? Okay, there's the lad. So the card key's in here. We just try to get this one. So this is going to be a little bit of mayhem, right? So all these enemies are blocking my way. Oh no, he teleported inside. All right, so now we hope he teleports back out. Otherwise, he's got to go through all... Oh, there it is. Let's go. There's a lot of traffic over there. All right, so there'll be two card keys in here. I got to get this card key to open the door to get the other card key. Struggling with Emil being too far behind, although he's in a really good spot, honestly, so... As long as he comes over just a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, that's good. Alright, as long as we don't get hit by this boss, we should be good. Yeah. Alright, and that's floor 2. Still don't believe I've gotten attack 15. That's fine.
I must say it was super satisfying to watch you one-shot all those shades with just the fist.
It just, like we were talking about earlier, Dark Hand is just so powerful in this version of the game, so it is really satisfying to just do one fist and then just skewer them with the spear. It's very satisfying. Alright, so a little tech on this floor, floor 3, final floor. Instead of killing all these enemies and doing all this stuff, we're just going to leave Emil. You got to make sure you grab the card key first. But now we get the same floor with all the enemies despawned, which is good in two different ways, right? One of those ways is we don't have to kill these enemies or even think about if Emil's going to get distracted by them or not. We can just go. The other reason it's nice is because we have to do a big mob fight in here, and the only way to progress with what we're doing right now is to kill the mob. But if you have those enemies from that room coming and these enemies from here, you can't really tell which place the enemies came from, so you wouldn't want to spend time killing enemies that aren't in this room, because what's the point? They're not contributing to progressing the story. So it's multifaceted in why we do it, and I really like that strat. Once again, a Devil Snake special. So then after this, a boss is going to spawn. Mini boss, I should say. I need to be careful not to die here. Okay. He does a lot of damage, so you just have to be careful. I want that rare drop. Gimme. Gimme not. Alright, so that's attack 10, magic 15. Again, just having 2 of any word that's 10 or above is pretty much good enough for me, so we're happy. So I touched the save there, just because for the HP and MP refill for free, and it doesn't really cost you any time since you're waiting for that door to open. Alright, this is Halua. I guess it's Emil's sister, or something like that.
Yes.
Alright. Switch to Beastbane, we're gonna go and equip those words now.
I'm a bit rusty with my NieR lore, but I believe Emil is the only human left? Something like that?
I would believe it. Alright, so I should have one more magic drop here, hopefully. No, I don't. Okay, so we just do dark hands here. It's what we would do with the magic drop. It's just gonna go a little slower, so no big deal.
Hurry, there's still time to save the land.
So you can catch them, like, you can get 1 or 2 fists as... Alright, I got 1. 1's typical, 2 is pretty hard to get, but...
Emil, we're coming for you. Come back to us.
Alright, so when Halua's doing this thing where she's flailing around and those balls are coming out, you might think it's better to, like, do Dark Blast, but Dark Blast can, like, just the hitbox here is so silly that I just don't risk Dark Blast. Because think about it, right? You Dark Blast and all of a sudden your shots stop hitting, so then it's like, okay, I'll Dark Hand, but the problem is you've ran out of MP since you were mashing those Dark Blasts. So, especially in a marathon situation, just wait on the hands and it's no big deal. Alright, so we're gonna fight the tentacle monster again. But now we're much stronger. If you couldn't tell, we skipped 5 years after facing the book boss in here earlier. So now it's like 5 years later, and we're showing this tentacle boss. Who's boss? So this is that tentacle again, where Dark Hand just it doesn't really work so well. All right.
He dies today.
It's not the blade's skill of the user. Strike him down.
So again, using Beastbane on this fight because the 40% magic boost at the end here, I know I can do it without it, so we just do 2 hands.
Earlier when I loaded the save of this boss, I was one-shotting those tentacles with the two-handed sword, so I thought that was going to be the strat for the run.
Well, I mean, you were close. Like I said, you just have to use Beastbane instead for the magic boost, but otherwise that's exactly it. Or you were trying Dark Hands or just swinging it?
Just swinging.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep, it's it turns out that in this version of the game, just attack, it's not bad, it's just in comparison to like Dark Hand and Dark Blast, Dark Lance, it's just nothing to compare to.
I didn't get much sleep last night. I wanted to blame Devola for everything. I wanted to grab Popola and strangle her. But anger won't accomplish anything. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. For the sake of protecting it from the horrifying threat of the Shades. Ellipses times 2. If Devola and Popola are to blame, then I am equally at fault. For not stopping for a moment to think about Kane and Emil. Loading. World Purification Commission report. Hello, nothing happened.
Thank you, Bowie.
Perfect. All right, one more drop here. I believe this is 900. Perfect.
You're well timed, Skate.
Yeah. I've taken a bathroom break or 2. And... Yeah.
2?
1.5 or something like that.
1 today. In my lifetime, at least 2.
I feel I was about to 100% overshare in the time that I did.
Oh yeah.
I split a toilet break into 2. So in FF12, there's a 30-second break when you do the I'm Captain Bosch. So like there's a 30-second break where you go and then you run in and then you press square and then you get 30 more seconds and you complete the rest of your bathroom break.
Remind me to tell you about my FF12 adventure when it comes to that after the run.
That requires more talent than the run itself.
I was going to say, like, I have to, this is going to be a grim thing to say, but like the ability to stop mid-flow and then return to it later.
Again, I've been around the block. It's boar mastery. Like, there's so many skills that you have to do.
Sorry, what did you say? What mastery?
Boar mastery.
All right, boar mastery, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I thought I heard like very different like consonants there.
All right, let's try the attack again. Yeah. Hey.
Easy.
So I mean, you can do it like I did it before. You kind of like stand still on the thing and do the spear dash, but it just how happens if you set it up that way. It's pretty convenient.
Oh, you can fast
Okay.
travel, but
Yeah. So we're fast traveling now. After that dungeon, we've unlocked the ability to fast travel. So now we're gonna return to the Lost Shrine. This will be our second of 3 trips to the Lost Shrine. This y'all is all I've needed to practice to come back to this run for one more stint. Devil Snake found just a ridiculous skip here. I've run a lot of games in my lifetime. Some Barbie, some Final Fantasy, but none of them really require stuff like this.
What a range.
It is a range. So yeah, if you haven't been able to tell throughout watching today, this game was released in 2010, so it's an action RPG. It plays very consistent. It just plays very antiquated. So, like, you don't get really the precision that you get with some modern action RPGs. And it would take me minutes to explain what I'm about to do. The first 2 are going to be pretty self-explanatory. The third one is not going to be self-explanatory at all. And I've pretty much spent the 20 hours in the past 2 weeks rehearsing this because it is extremely difficult. So we're just going to see what happens.
yeah, Skate did explain this to me earlier. Like every input, it was a lot to take in. Let's just say that.
First time at Skate.
Yeah, we got this. Here we go. Oh, so close. That's like, it's pixels away on that one. We'll go again. This skip saves like a minute 30 or something like that, so like no worries if I miss this once or twice, you know. This time though, the enemies are here, so I'm just gonna dark hand them out of the way.
Yeah, there's enemies not having it.
Now my friend's in the way. What's up with that? Thank you. And then sometimes with this trick, you can just fall too. So like that's the fun part of it, is that you can do everything right in a way. I mean, technically, you can try to avoid falling off, but it's really difficult. Yeah, and then there's that too. No, remember, nothing in this run's free really. So like, I got those first 2 first try the first time, but like, they're seriously difficult. This one's pretty easy, honestly, the first one. Don't miss though. See, you can just fall off. That's not gonna work. So yeah, everything that has to go right here, you have to just spear dash at the perfect angle. You have to hold your jumps for the perfect amount of time. You have to swing your sword, but not too many times. And then you have to do a spear dash, but then you have to stop the spear dash before the animation comes out and then switch your weapon. So you got all that? Too short, yeah. So you're too short, that means you're not holding your jumps long enough. I mean, there's like, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 things that have to go perfectly for this to work, so. I'm confident though. So close. That's how close it is though. Like that's why everything has to just be perfect. Thanks for finding this, by the way, Devil Snake. Might be too angled to the right. Yep. If you can believe it, if I get it next try, it's like breaking even. There we go.
Oh,
That is such a tough trick, y'all. Now, I don't play NieR Tomato or the other games like that, so maybe there's harder stuff in that, but that by far is the hardest thing you could ever ask someone to do in this game. It's incredibly ridiculous.
You got to show off an insane skill showcase, and we didn't even lose time to do it.
against the vanilla way, yeah, we breaking even.
That's net positive.
I could have been like, nah, I'm not doing it. It's a marathon. Now we get the same results, so everyone's a winner.
I want them to let you in.
So yeah, much easier trunk skip this time.
Right, Kaine?
You can just use that box that magically showed up 5 years later.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's crap. It needs to change.
Switch to Beastbane here to get a little more damage on the fists. Occasionally you can get something stupid here like Magic 20 instead of Magic 15, which we have. That's pretty rare. Thank you, Emil. You almost did your job.
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to
Alright,
maintain.
I'm gonna try to maybe pick off this guy from abroad. Not bad. Alright, so I have Magic 15, but no Magic drop, so we're not gonna be able to quick kill this boss per se. If you had both, you could do something here where you like start with a Magic drop and then just do fists and swings, but as you can see, gonna go into the invulnerability phase, but you just walk away and then he gets out of it, so it's not too bad if you don't have the Magic drop. It's just really bad if you don't have like Magic 15, so no big deal. Alright, phase 2. You get one of maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 openings. One of them we call Beyblade. Your hands will just spin around and there's nothing you can really do. That's not Beyblade, so that's really nice. Alright, not bad. Alright, so phase 3 is just gonna be one fist and then a couple swings, and the last phase, Kaine, our companion, is gonna turn into a shade, and there's a very, very precise quick kill that we're gonna go for on that one. So we could do this with fists, right, but we're gonna need the magic for the quick kill, so we just finish it with the sword there, and here we go. So instantly Dark Lance, wait until Emil says Kaine.
Kaine's shade!
Perfect. Yeah, so as you can, if you saw, like, Kaine pretty much had her entire health bar when I killed her. So if you don't get the quick kill, she becomes like, you know, the normal boss fight, and she starts flying around everywhere, and it's hard to get into that state where you can get the attack gauge and get her. So it's really important to get that one. So no Beyblade, quick kill, all good there. Switch to the spear for the movement again, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so I promised you all RNG. This is I promised y'all RNG. This is a RPG after all. I think compared to most of the runs that you all be seeing this week, this game has fairly lackluster RNG, but this is the one exception. We've been using a spear in Act 2, and we want to continue using spears, and if we can help it, we'd like to get the best spear in the game, which is called the Phoenix Spear. Unfortunately, it costs 32,400 gil, or G, I guess they call it in this game. What is this, Final Fantasy? So, here's how it works. We're going to go back to the junk heap. That was the first place y'all made me go upside down earlier, I believe. It's been so long now that I forget. And I don't really want to remember, honestly. By the way, yeah, we're going to do some movement tech here as well. We used to do this in the shrine where I was at earlier, but because of all the new stuff, we don't really use this anymore. But we are going to use this to clear this gap. So crash the boar and then watch this. Like that. So you don't have to climb up the ladder and do the whole 2D section again. So you weapon swap after you use your spear special in air, and allows you to preserve the momentum that you got from the spear special. But get a roll out of it so you're able to preserve your horizontal or vertical, I guess. Both, really. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. In the junk heap, there is a room we can go to now that we're in Act 2. We call it the box room, the 40 box room. There's more than 40 boxes in there, but there's only 40 boxes we care about.
They might know something about
And each box has a chance, a very small chance, albeit a chance, to drop either an amber, which sells for 3,000 G, a fluorite, which sells for 6,000 G, and a Damascus steel, which sells for 6,800. Ideally, for us to be able to do what we need to do, we're looking to get about 18-20K. So 3 to 4 really good drops is what we're going for here. but you can just get no drops, right? No drops is a problem. I have a backup save. Like, I'll do what we can with the money that I get, but if it becomes completely unworkable, I'm just gonna load a save. There's technically 3 different spears that we can get. The Phoenix Spear, it's 32,400. There's the Captain's Holy Whisker Holy Spear, it's like 30,800. And then there's Sunrise, which I've never had to buy in a run, because if you can't afford the spear in a world record run, the run is just dead on the spot, more or less. It's not really, but it feels like it. So I'm going to switch to Beastbane here for these couple of enemies, because technically we're 1 level lower than we need to in order to be able to one-shot the enemies. I'm going to put Emil on Defend as well. Goes back to the whole iframe thing we're talking about. If an enemy, or if one of your comrades is attacking an enemy, and they damage the enemy before you, then your damage gets null and void. So try to put Tiny and Emil on guard to mitigate that as much as we can. So as soon as I kill this last one here, I'm going to instantly switch to the spear for movement. Grab this bomb, or we're going to blow up the door. All right, so at the end of this corridor is the 40 box room. All I can do is to have luck wished upon me, and the rest is fate.
Luck is now wished upon you.
That's the start, so.
Were you specifying good or bad luck specifically?
Good.
Good, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Good luck.
So any box that drops a green drop will always drop a green drop, which is a dented metal board, which we don't want. Any box that drops nothing is a box that can drop a rare drop. So those are the ones that we're primarily focused on. Amber 3K, Fluorite 9K total. Damascus Steel, Amber, 6, 12, 18, 6. I believe that's right. So 18-6 is workable. I think we'll be fine. We'll get at least one of the 2 good spears, I think, with that. It'll be close. I think I may have gotten like a rusty kitchen knife in the underground. Oh yeah, I need to switch back to Beastbane here. As you can see, it's like 1 shot away from not being able to one-shot these enemies. Once we get the level up, we'll just switch back to the spear and we'll be fine. Also, if you haven't noticed, we're also still picking up the drops from these enemies. There is obviously the Phoenix Spear that we have to deal with, but then there's going to be one last shopping menu at the very end of the run to buy more drops just for the rest of the run. So all of this is going to contribute to that. So as long as we're not really going out of our way to do it, you know, we try to get as many of them as we can in this last visit to the Junk Heap, and really the next time we come to. So I'm using Auto Dark Blast here to take care of these. You could do manual if you really wanted to, but Auto is fine. All right, so this is P32. We're just gonna try to stun him with the Dark Hand and Spear Special so that he never gets any attacks off. Because the attacks like that one, they can do quite a bit of damage, as you can see. I'm a little scared. Okay, I have healing, never mind, who cares? All right, so just like all the other turrets, you break a turret, you get a bomb. It's a free dented metal board, so why not, right? 2 turrets, 1 gate. And just like before, sometimes these bombs can take forever to spawn. You can see that one on the left took its time, even though I pretty much broke the turrets at the same time. So sometimes you can get really unlucky. And they both take forever or something, but that was fine. And for the keen eyes, occasionally, now that we have spears, we're not really side rolling anymore, other than like particular spots like that. But there are occasions where you can try to, say, spear dash straight forward, and then if your next direction is like 90 degrees, you do a spear dash, and then you have a setup for a side roll. So occasionally you'll see me you might see me like spear dashing in a weird direction, but it's always just to try to build some side rolls instead of regular rolls, just really minor time save, but that's like the optimization you get when you run this game. Movement is so important.
Do you have a quick mower tool? Or are you
No,
right
no,
in the middle of
this is
something
a great time.
Perfect. Just wanted to quickly give a couple of updates to some things. We're at 3.807, 3,807 cash monies. Thank you very, very much indeed. We're going to be announcing another little milestone on the way forward. Obviously, we met the ice cream boat challenge thing. We're going to get that done for you tomorrow because you did meet that. But we're going to make sure that happens and we're going to have some fun. So $4,500 is going to be our next milestone. So 693 cash monies away. We're going to add a bonus run. We're going to add a bonus run. Tomorrow, we're going to open up the day with Romancing Saga 3. RS3 being run by our very own Deno here on my left. Your right, I think, on screen. But after that run, if we get to 4,500 before that run is completed, we'll be adding a bonus run of Final Fantasy Legend 2, the second Saga game in the entire series. Denho is up for doing that, but we want to obviously get some more runs in and wherever possible. We also know that tomorrow FF9 is going to be degen as hell, so it's going to be it's going to be good fun. So it won't affect the schedule, don't worry, because Mizo's like, yeah, I can go until 6 a.m. Why not? Crack on. But no, we have announced that 4.5k for the bonus run of Final Fantasy Legend 2 or Saga 2 after Romancing Saga 3. So if you like your Saga games, tomorrow is the one for you because it's going to be Saga day, Saga morning, Saga afternoon, Saga early afternoon, late lunch. Yep. Yep. So there you go. Another bonus run of 4.5k. So make sure to get those donations in for things if you can, if you want, and support a great charity in Make-A-Wish International. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you for that update, Bowie.
No worries, baby girl. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. But
yeah, I think
what
you
does
know
this
exactly where that
become?
came from.
I know where it came from.
Yeah. So
Wanna tell you how much
I
I
just
really
fell in the water on accident. Like.
I'm so glad he's here.
What? Oh, thank
It's
you.
not just that he looks nice, it's that he smells nice. Oh, I had cradled his head in my hand earlier. It was like silk wrapped in a dream.
Did I touch the mail? I'm pretty sure I touched the mail. Yeah, I definitely touched the mail, right? I didn't touch the mail. Ooh. Okay, this is like the most common mistake to make in a NieR speedrun, is doing exactly what I was about to do. Remember, there's like the whole thing of you talk to Yona, you talk to Popola, you talk to Yona, you talk to Popola. Now you have to check the mail. When have we checked the mail in the run? I can tell you up until now, none. So you just have to randomly check the mail. So otherwise you'll go all the way to the desert and there'll be nothing for you there. So then you have to come all the way back. So I'm glad I realized that before I did it. But yeah, surprisingly, town's definitely the easiest place to like get lost in that sense because you're just so used to like going through the motions. So nice save. All right, and then additionally, so I think like I said, we got like 18.6k, 21.6k or something. EV for that section is like 16.6k. So definitely above the expected value we're supposed to get there. It's just like 18k is one of those things where it's either gonna be like plenty for the second tier spear or just barely enough for the first tier spear. I could grab that drop over there. Drops in desert in the second act are pretty lucrative, but we're just gonna go for it and see what happens in the spirit of a marathon, right?
What was that, hussy?
As long as we get one of them, it's fine. Checking the mail is hard. I have a tough time doing that with IRL mail, let alone digital mail, let alone video game mail. Let's see what happens, yo. Okay, so the bad news is currently we do not have enough for the spear. The second bad news is I just picked the wrong shot, but that's not a big deal. We like walking around here. The good news is that if you remember, I don't know, how long ago was it now? An hour and 20 minutes or something like that? I don't want to do that. I picked up an item from the Baron Temple, and it was a crystal. So in order to do this backup money acquisition, oh wait, I still have to, did I have to turn it in, right? Yeah. So I get 10,000 gold, and I didn't even have to buy anything to do that backup quest, so we pretty much just rawly net 10k We had 26k, and now we'll have 36k, which is 4k in excess for the best weapon. So again, in a world record run, typically you would think of that as a reset. But in a marathon setting, it's a saving grace. So very good. We're gonna wait until to equip the Phoenix Spear. If you recall earlier in the run, you can do things while dialogue is going, and we're about to get a bunch of forced dialogue. It's one of like only what, 2 or 3 places in the entire run where you just have to literally sit and wait for dialogue to finish, and it just so happens that we need to do a really big menu here. So we just got a new weapon, Phoenix Spear, so one of them is going to be equip that, and then we still need to equip the words that we've had this entire run to that weapon. It's not like you just to equip words to NieR and he gets it for every single weapon. You have to assign words to every single kind of magic and then every single kind of weapon. So we'll just quickly go and equip the words during this dialogue. So in theory, we're losing no time by doing all this during those dialogues, if you do it right. So it takes a little bit of finesse to do it without losing time, at least for the words. Obviously, Spear is just pressing right and down, so most people can do that. All right, so I got this one for the lore. So it's been 5 years since we last visited Facade.
How nice! A wedding! Flowers everywhere.
All right, so that's the equip there.
It's great! I'm kind of jealous. Aren't you kind of jealous, Kaine?
Right, so there you go. So we didn't lose time doing any of that. Anyway, so Fira, the little girl we helped escort, is getting married to the prince, which is great. I love a happy wedding. All right, that's pretty bad RNG. I'm gonna go for a power attack here. I don't think it's gonna work. Where's the boss?
The wolves appear to be
Where's the boss? All right, there you go. So if you're lucky, you can get Rock. That's the name of that boss, right as at the start. But sometimes, man, these people are so rude. I'm just so sick and tired of people showing up to weddings and then spilling wine all over the town square and then just not cleaning up. It's like, it's so rude. But whatever, I'll get over it. So Fira spilled the wine, and that's what we're going with. And if you don't believe me, play the game for yourself, I suppose. No deaths here. All right, so that was Rock 1. We're gonna do Rock 2. It's just the same fight, but in a big arena and way more wolves. So I mentioned very early in the run, the Kaine fight was probably the second most inconsistent fight in the run. This is easily the most inconsistent fight of the run, just due to the raw nature of it, right? We're gonna have like, I don't know, it's probably like 30 to 40 wolves. I'm gonna go for a quick hit here. All right, so that's just a free hit, right? Then Rock's gonna go back up to his cliff. We're gonna push the king over here. The wolves tend to get attracted to the king, so we try to get him in a corner so we can start doing these fists in an enclosed space to try to get as many of them as possible. So then, like most things that we've been doing so far in the past 30 minutes, it's just a combination of spear specials, which is that little spear slide there, and then dark hand. Ideally, if you're really good, you can do a spear special in one direction and the hand in the other direction to try to cover more area, but you just risk the consequence of potentially missing them both. So you just have to use discretion. Just run around. You know, there's not really so much you can do to mitigate all the wolves just running around, so you just have to do your best. And that's really the case for Rock 2 as well, once that phase starts. That was a pretty nice one there. That was weird. That was a really good phase into that very last wolf, like exceptional actually. I guess I'm short of strength drop too. All right, so yeah, Rock can do one of two shields. One's a magic shield and one's an attack shield. The one you just saw there, the black one, was an attack shield. So if that happens, there's not really much you can do. You can try to get a fist in, but the problem is the range of how close you're. Wow, 3 in a row is really bad. I'm just gonna heal just in case this is kind of dangerous. Brock does a lot of damage. But yeah, if you get a magic shield, then considering you saw me try to use a strength drop and we have the Phoenix Spear now, you can just do like one big charge attack and pretty much instantly in the fight. We didn't get any of those, and so we got a attack barrier and 3 jumps to the center, which is about as bad as it gets in terms of RNG. However, I would say that fight went very well with only having attack plus 10 and no strength drop, so we'll call it a win. Also, I guess it could be said, you may have noticed in Act 2 here that a lot of the times after I do something, it'll ask me where I want to go. I think it's really cool that they've made the game like this so that you can pretty much do Act 2 in more or less whatever order you want. Obviously, we're doing it in the fastest order because it's a speed run. But of note, it doesn't really matter what you pick. So like, for example, I think the 2 options are there are go to the Force of the Myth or check in on the brothers. I could pick, in fact, I did pick Force of the Myth, but this is what the other option is to check in on the brothers, which is checking your mail. So as long as you go to the right place, it doesn't really matter what option you pick, which is fortunate. So you don't like lose a run to accidentally pressing the wrong option. The way even picking stuff in this game works when it comes to that is you have to press an input before you even get the cursor. So when you have to do 2 button presses, especially on an Xbox 360 controller, which I think objectively has the worst D-pad of all time of any game controller, it's really nice to not have to lose runs to like just happen to picking the wrong one. We've definitely never lost a run to world record or anything like that by picking the wrong option, as long as anyone's asking. But otherwise, it's pretty easy to mitigate that by just knowing where to go instead of relying on picking the right option to tell you where to go.
I do like the 360 controller in general, but yeah, I feel like I never, like, pretty much never touched the D-pad on
and you've done yourself a favor by doing so. It's definitely been a degradation of quality of life over time. It's one of the reasons I quit. This was the D-pad. But I mean, nowadays you can get all crazy sorts of adapters. You can play like a PS5 controller on an Xbox 360. So I mean, there's options out there if you want to not have to deal with that. But there's something just about using the original controller. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we're back to the junk heap. Not for 40 boxes this time. We have what we need. We're still going to go for drops from the enemies when we go through. Now we have an upgraded weapon again. Or rather, more access. I guess it's not even really access. I don't know what the brothers want. They just want us to go do stuff. Which is fine. Like, you feel like if you found their mother, that'd be enough. She was dead, though, so maybe not. So we're doing our best here. It'll be P32 again. And then at the very end, it'll be a bigger robot, P33. We're going to try for a quick kill strat. I've only gotten it once. I've only really tried it maybe 5 times, though, so, you know, 20%, right? It's probably more like 50%. But it would be that game over screen I talked about earlier, though. You can do a kill on yourself right as you get into a certain phase of the boss, and it allows you to pretty much skip the half of the fight. Let's say 40% of the fight. The problem with it is it relies on us being at such low health that we can fall off the map a couple of times and die. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, one, we're playing on easy, which is the fastest category, or the fastest difficulty, so we're not changing that. So then after that, we need to get hit here, so instead of trying to defeat all these enemies on the minecart, I'm just going to let them all hit me until a certain state. But then the third part, and unfortunately the most crucial part, is even though we have Emil, you know what, let's just do it. So we're going to set Emil back to attack to try to discourage Emil healing you. So obviously, when they were making this game, they didn't really think that anyone wouldn't want to be healed, because it's, why would you not want to be healed? There's not even like any sort of abilities in this game where being at low health does more damage or anything like that. So of course you would always want to be healed, but in this particular case, when we need to die, we don't want to get healed at all. So we're going to set him to attack to try to dissuade him from healing, even though he just did as we speak. And hopefully we make it all the way to the boss without dying, or getting healed, and we get through the boss. This is the second phase without dying or getting healed. So that's what we're working with here, and that's all to get this quick kill that we're gonna go for. And fortunately, if we don't get the quick kill, it's just doing the boss normally, so you know, it's kind of obviously a net positive to just go for it, as long as you don't die in the process. So we're at half health now. I can try to take a little more damage on P32. It's just very easy to die with this kind of health specifically. Like, all it's gonna take is 1 or 2 hits from P32 for me to die here, so I just need to be careful. Fortunately, it's also only gonna take me 1 or 2 hits to kill P32, so. Good. All right, so there'll just be 8 robots here to kill until we can progress. I'm gonna try to get their drops, just because technically we still want them. We can kill them with the spear here, which is nice. See, this is why I don't like when Kaine and Emil attack. They can just kind of mess up whatever you're going for when it comes to the attacks. All right, strat for this room, there's gonna be 3 waves of flying enemies. I'm gonna stand on this side of the room, the opposite direction of which way I need to go for the first 2 waves. And then in between waves 2 and 3, I'm gonna move myself to the other side of the room and pick up all the drops on the way, just to try to get the max drops without losing any time. That's the idea. Machine oil? Machine oil? So now, we just leave, so. Pretty good way to get like the most value possible without losing time going all around the room to pick up the drops. I've never really told anyone this. This is my favorite room in the game coming up here, at least for a speedrun. This room right here. So a silly strat that I do for this room is to spear dash, and then you kind of side roll into the railing here. So the entire time you're going up these stairs, you can be doing spear dash side rolls, which is really the only kind of room that allows for that without potentially losing time due to bad movement. So just a little side note there. All right, so all right, it looks like Emil healed us a little bit. So I have no drops here. By that I mean like strength or magic drop. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of just start fighting P33 normally, maybe be a little sluggish with the Endeavor and hope I start taking some hits, and then in a perfect world I have like maybe 2 or 3 hits until death, right as we go into the next phase. So I'm going to take a second here and now go. He's not doing his smash attack. I kind of need to leave him alone in order to do it, but hey, there we go. Oh, come on.
Aim for the legs. Knock it down.
Well,
Take out the shade.
there we go. All right, so this is a pretty decent health. As long as Emil doesn't heal, then okay, we're good here. So roll, fist, special, fist, special, fist, special, fist, special. Okay. Dark Blast for good measure, and now we're going to start falling off the map. One more should do the trick. All right, so now we've game overed. So since we've game overed, there's that phase we're just going through is P33 flying up to the ceiling and all this debris falling down to the arena. But if you game over at that moment, you skip straight to this final phase here. So it's a little bit faster. One of many things which we haven't really talked about so much, we kind of got inspired from the remake of this, NieR Replicant 1.22. They found a lot of really cool strats, and then the games truly are so similar in terms of just the basics that it was able to be applied to this one too. So. All right, y'all. It's the moment I know everyone's been waiting for, if you're a fan of this run. This is Text Boss 2. And unlike Text Boss 1, you actually have to read the text. You're good, dude. Fortunately, I've done this a couple times, so I think I'm gonna be all right. But there's 3 answers or questions you have to answer, just like the first text boss. The first 2 are in the passage, and the third one's always the same. So we're just looking for 2 of them. One of them's gonna be an eye color, and another one's gonna be a number. And I guess that's another difference, right? In Replicant 1.22, the game kind of pauses right before the word that you need is gonna come up. In this version, there is no such pause given to you, so you kind of just have to know what to look for. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
This is the village from the dream. Yeah. I hear you.
So we gotta go to the big tree, and here we go. Text boss, and number 2. All right, y'all catch that? You guessed green 63, you were correct. That's text boss number 2 down. So we got one more boss before the final dungeon. So, you know, probably 20, 25 more minutes, like that. When in doubt, go to Popola. And then we will go to our final trip of the Airy, which I guess we also go to 3 times now that I think about it. We go to the Lost Shrine 3 times, Airy 3 times. And technically Jump Heap 4 times, if you ask me. Most people will say twice. 3 times.
I guess the remake does have an extra story at the port area.
Yeah, so in Replicant 122, you have to go to the seafront where we bought all those drops earlier in the run. We did the fishing. You have to go there an additional 2 times for some added story stuff that they did. But in this version, in fact, you just have to go to the seafront to catch the fish, and you never have to go back, which you'll find as we finish the run here. Okay. Alright, so Popola gave us a letter from the Airy saying, we're in trouble. Or they opened a mercantile or something like that. So we're gonna go check it out.
Yep.
Alright. So I hate to say this, y'all. It's been a good run, but this will be the final boar of the run. One last display of boar mastery. And no boar crashes today, which is pretty good. We may have had one. If I can't remember it, we probably didn't have any boar crashes.
We crashed a boar into a big rock wall, but you were upside down.
Oh, okay, yes. I was upside down when I did crash the boar.
I think that's valid.
I think so.
I have my doubts.
And we'll pretend I didn't just clip through that wall and normally would have crashed. So no crashes today, right side up. All right, so yeah, it turns out all 3 segments of the area are pretty difficult. This is the final one, and there's no, I guess there's no fancy strats for the boss so much, but it's a bunch of fancy strats for the movement. The very first time we came here, we were trying to skip the checkpoints. We'll be doing the same thing, but just different checkpoints here. So we don't want to warp all the way back to the beginning now. Currently, we're going to want to warp to right where we are right now, so we're not going to skip this one. So now we've hit this checkpoint. So if we void right now, we'll go back to there. There is one here at the end, so we just do something like this. and then void. Jump off the edge, activate this checkpoint. So now we want to go back there next time we void. Do the same movement again here, and now we do this. That's not gonna work, okay. It's a tough, I mean, it's not that tough. Like, there's tougher stuff in this run, but this one, and whenever you have to do this, like, spear jump stuff with the menu, it's hard to exactly control it. I don't know what's going on there. We'll blame it on Emil. Emil is one more incident away from not being best boy. Just a fair warning. All right, try again. That should be fun. There's supposed to be an invisible wall there. We'll take the ladder this time. That is on the line if it's gonna work or not, so hopefully we just got it and everything's fine. So this is the last shop of the run. We're just taking everything we've gotten and spinning it on drops. We have enough for 10-10, which is fine. I'll buy a couple health salves just in case, and we're good to go. All right, so if we did this right, we have to kill 3 enemies on this platform, and once we kill the 3 enemies, we have to go all the way back to that last checkpoint I tried activating. So in theory, we kill the 3 enemies and then just jump off right away. We may have gotten that second to last one. We may have hit it on accident, but we're about to find out. Again, it's just movement. If I missed it, nothing catastrophic.
It's a trap.
I try to kill these normal looking enemies here because they're just easy one-shots. So let's see what we got. All right, we got it. So, yep. So that's the first void warp we'll do. Now we have this big mob fight. This is probably one of the last fights in the run that we don't completely understand in terms of like what allows you to progress from it. Sometimes there'll be like, I don't know, 8-10 enemies left, and it's just like, you can go now. And then sometimes you have to kill them all, and it'll say you can go now. So it's kind of weird. And then additionally, if you haven't seen already, there's this platform below us. So if the shades fall down onto that platform, then you end up having to go down there and kill them anyway, and then it's just not as fast. So probably like the last run, or the last fight left in this run where we could use like some information that isn't obvious at face value. So yeah, as you can see here, we're gonna have to pretty much kill them all. But like in practice day, I got 2 of them where there's like 8 or 10 left, and what can be done, right? Okay, sure. All right, so we have to do this one more time. This time it's gonna be a little harder because now we're gonna have to fight a boss, a mid-boss, I guess. Okay, so that's good there. Those shades aren't gonna come towards me, so I'll go ahead and proceed. All right, so here's the problem, right? We've saved this checkpoint, but this boss likes to fling you in the air and knock you off the arena. So guess what happens if you fall off here? Well, you have to go all the way back to our last checkpoint. So it's really imperative that you don't get knocked off there. Also imperative, the line for the checkpoint here is like, I don't know. It's all too late now, but it's in this arena, so I could technically go too far left or too far right and break the trick. But for Wendy here, you can just stay in the center, it's no problem. So for the first phase here, it's an auto-scroller until you see me use a magic drop. So you just want to make sure you do damage here until the damage bar stops going down. And that's all that's necessary for this first part.
I sense magic coming from the
Wendy, name of this boss, will come down again. We'll do like, I don't know, 3-5 more hits. And with our configuration today of magic 15 and a phoenix spear with a magic drop, this should be a 5 charge lance straight to the dome. With a magic drop. Here we go. And now we'll get an attack gauge here. We'll pre-mash Dark Blast so that it just instantly goes away like that. So now, if we did everything right, we'll void here again and once again transport all the way back to the beginning of, or at least for as far as we're concerned, of what we need to do. So there we are. So yeah, this beam control, I mean, it won't be a tragedy, right? Great. Alright, so I bought 10 magic drops. You can try, this is like the second part of this phase, and then there's a third part down below. You can try to make one magic drop work for both of them. Since I have 10-10, which means like 10 strength drops and 10 magic drops, I'm just gonna use the second drop once I go down below here and not risk under damaging.
It is escaping to the
Little swag fall there. Don't ask me why I know, but if you stand right here on the edge, Wendy's tentacles can knock you down. Do you all see any tentacles right now? I don't. So how that's possible, I don't know, but you just gotta stand back a little bit so that doesn't happen. It's a little under damaged, so it'll be like the third possible time to kill here. Big deal. Emil, you could have done that like 3 seconds later and it would have been really cool. All right, no tragedies. That is the last boss before the final dungeon. All right, so the keen eyes may have recognized that last time I left the area, I rode the boar and used that to go to town. The difference between now and then is that we have fast travel. So instead what we'll do is this. Which takes us to the fast travel boat. And if you can take a wild guess to what we need to do right now, it is indeed talk to Popola one last time in the village. So we're going to do that and then head off to the final dungeon. Whoops.
I marvel at how relatively simple a task this retrieval process proved to be. It is almost as if someone deliberately set us on this.
You're overthinking again, Vice.
But
I don't care if it's a trap. Yona's waiting for me, and I'm going.
I see.
It's
Wait, now after all these times talking to her, I don't think we really know much about what she says.
It could be due to the scripting and the idea of the story. It could be due to how fast I'm mashing. It's probably a combination of all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. She just kind of speaks very fast. Like, it's kind of hard to understand.
Yeah. All right, and this will be our third and last trip to the Lost Shrine to enter the final dungeon, which, as I alluded to before, is the first dungeon we go to, but also the path to the final dungeon. So.
Are we ready? What?
So, unlike the first time we went this way to the Lost Shrine, there's going to be enemies that are here this time, which, for this bridge, might just block us. But for after this, there's a floating enemy that shoots big red balls, and when we're trying to climb this ladder, the balls would knock you down, so we could get a little trolled here. Also, if you remember last time we were here is when I was doing the big skips and stuff. The skips, at least the one I was messing up a lot, doesn't save nearly as much time, no pun intended, as when you do it the last time we did it. We're talking like 15 seconds versus a minute and 25 seconds. Like that. So I'm contemplating as I'm climbing up this ladder right now if I want to go for it. It's not every day that you're in Växjö, Sweden to do your favorite speed game in front of everybody, so I think I might go for it at least once. Put it all on the table, you know what I mean? I'm mashing all the buttons, like I don't know. You're supposed to be able to recover out of that. Like all the buttons are mashed. I don't know. So as I mentioned, entering this area, you can get trolled by these enemies when they're here this time. But you can roll if you get hit. Yeah, I tried every button. I don't know. All right, you know what? We're gonna go for it. Win in Sweden, as the saying goes. everything, like these first two parts you do no matter what, so no worries there. Do it. Oh god, I fat thumbed attack. Alright. If I didn't fall all the way down, I would have tried it again, but we're just gonna do it normal. I have big thumbs. And there's no surgery for that, so that's what we have to deal with. Welcome, you talking about lag before? Try that for lag. So normally you won't spawn that boss because you either do the skip or you don't. But if you fail the skip, then I guess that's what happens. So. We good? Thank you. So I'll show you all why, I'll do it the normal way and I'll show you all why doing it the last time doesn't save nearly as much time as the first time we try it. So all the enemies spawn in that room, you don't have to kill them. Normally there's like a box puzzle in these rooms, you don't have to do them. And normally there's enemies in this room, but they're not. So that skip would land us right here. So, you know, it's like, saves like 15 seconds as opposed to before, like minute 20, minute 30, something like that, so. I try to never spear dash in the air because the game freezes for a second. So when I'm trying to do like spear dashes in that 2D section, I'm trying to make sure I'm like touching the ground before I do it. That was pretty cool if you're into wall kicks that don't do anything. Yeah, a little short. All right.
Such an ominous sight. And yet I find... And now...
All right. I never think about this, but there technically is one more text boss. There's some birds. Now, normally you could walk all the way over to those birds, or you could just enter the door you just came from. So I'm going to elect for that option. And then here are the birds. They're going to ask me some questions. I'm going to answer the questions. The answer is always the same. Black disease, separating body and soul, and finally, place in their corresponding.
Seems the way is open.
All right. So this is Devila and Popola. Yeah, they were the baddies all along, kind of. The first phase here is an auto-scroller, so long as you're not incredibly slow, you pretty much just do 2 attacks, maybe a little bit extra, and then you just wait. All right, so yeah, you can see the damage bar isn't going down anymore. So we're gonna try to set up a quick kill here, opening the second phase with a strength drop. You start with a spear special as they're teleporting into the ground. They always are gonna teleport to the right side, and if you set up just right, you can set up a charge attack with a spear and just kill them both in one shot. 2 phase at worst is usually what happens here, but we're gonna go for the 1 cycle. Oh, I used the wrong drop, that's fine. All right, so over here.
Shit on a shimmer. They can use the sealed doors. Of course we can.
Nice.
The power came from
All right,
us in the
really
first
clean 1
place.
cycle.
Devila and Popola are fighting us.
Yes, they do seem to be putting us through a great deal of...
Well, Jay Carrick, streamer not going back to the village would involve having ever lost a world record by picking the wrong option there. So, nah. If that had happened before and there's a precedent, maybe, but that's never happened before, as far as anyone's concerned, so.
Bunch of dancing bastards.
All right, so this is the ball. It is an auto-scroller, unfortunately. It's pretty much the only real auto-scroller other than maybe like the end of Jack of Hearts, but now you kill enemies and stuff, so is it really an auto-scroller? Maybe, maybe not, a speedrun. But this is a pure auto-scroller. So as you can see, all these couples dancing. One of them every so often will stop dancing and then become two shades. So we just have to wait for them all to turn into shades and do the business. I have a feeling it's gonna be this one. Drops are pretty useless up at this point now that we got 10-10 and Airy 3. But you still grab them anyway, why not? As long as you don't lose time doing it. Leather boots, you know, stuff like that. We can't sell anything anymore, so like, no point really. You keep these items, I believe, when you go to the second ending of the game and subsequent endings. But since this is just a ending, which is like the first main ending of the game, these drops in terms of like money drops don't really matter at all. Yeah, so again, it's gonna be a big boss rush here. It can be pretty tense, but I do have like a strat or two to try to like at least make it feel a little more calm. Really only one, but we're gonna go for it. And again, it's not even like to do anything, it's more to just like help calm me down. So here we go. You have to stand right in the center of this line. Forward, approach.
Knock it off, Mice.
Oh, right. Protect the
camera pan.
Good plan.
There we go.
Protect Kaine for us.
Stupid door. Come on. Oh, come on.
Kaine, hurry!
It's not open yet?
Do I look like a goddamn locksmith to you?
Depends on who you ask. Base skip?
What are you doing?
Oh, break it down, right.
Lock doesn't want to open? Fine. I'll just break it down.
Cutscene. So now we have to kill 5 of these eggs. Eggs? Is that the balls? It's one of them. All right, that's immediately going to go into a 3-part boss, kind of. So we're going to pop a magic drop, see if we can get... All right, we got hit. No big deal. So now we're going to try something like this. Not bad. You really want it where, like, there's 2 different ways that this fight name is Goose. There's a couple different ways you would want Goose to fall on the ground, where, like, that one he was laying on his belly, she was laying on her belly. Now, that one, you want her on her side. So we'll try again. So yeah, not on her side. But... So okay, this is on her side. Oh, she got up there. All right. So another fun thing we're gonna have to deal with here. So this door is gonna open in a second. Until then, it's closed. And what's gonna happen is, like, if we have to leave this way, it's gonna, without my control, try to pan the camera this way. And then the camera's gonna go away. So it's just a really big, long corridor. And if we set the camera up just right here, we can get it set. The camera pretty much stays exactly where it is, so I know exactly how to do the movement. We'll see what happens. So lift up the camera now, and then go. All right, yep, so we need to get this nice, really clean angle to do the spear dash and rolls in. And now we're all the way here before the camera even saw us, so that was really good. I break these boxes either with Dark Blast or Spear Special, kind of depending on where I get into the box, like that. All right. So there'll be one more Goose fight where we have to think.
Damn it, I can't get it open.
Pop another magic drop. Hope for the same thing. Here we go.
Attack incoming!
Same thing. All right. So why does Goose sometimes go on her side and sometimes not? I think there's this mechanic in the game called guard break. It's similar to like when you attack an enemy and they kind of just fall down onto the ground. You've broken their guard, and breaking an enemy's guard I think is percentage chance based. So pretty much you're like jumping spear specialing into the boss and just hoping that 25 whatever % chance happens. And if not, you just do the boss the other way. So not really so much you can do to control it. All right, so this is Goose 4, but Goose 4 is an auto-scroller. The whole room is being poisoned, so you'll see my health slowly trickling down, but nothing of any danger. And I don't really need to hit this boss. If anything, this is the door we're going to be leaving from, so we just need to be as close to here as possible, ideally when the door opens. But at the same time, you don't really want Goose attacking the door as it opens either. I'm just going to heal, because why not? I guess you could call this like the Matador room, right? Like, and... Right, that's what the bullfighters do or something like that. All right, so hopefully it's 1 charge, maybe 2 more charges. Okay, perfect. So we wanted the boar to crash like right as the door is opening, right? All right, another camera switch here. It's kind of tricky, right? You're usually walking forward, but for whatever reason it puts the camera like that. There's a reason the camera's like that, but it's not a big deal. All right, so now we're gonna do Devil of Popola 2. Instead of fighting them both at the same time, now we're gonna fight them individually. As long as you can aim, it's probably one of the easiest fights in the run, but you do have to be able to aim. And to your point earlier, forgetting about fights where you use attacks, Goose and then obviously this one and Devil of Popola 1 are all fights where we're using attacks instead of magic. Using magic will make them teleport, and we don't want that. So we're going to see where she spawns. Okay, so this isn't really a great spot. It's okay. So here's the strat. You do 2 hits at a time until she gets into a corner, and now you do 3.
I'm nothing like you. None of us are.
And now Popola. Start with the spear special. 1, 2, 3, special.
No.
And the reason for that, same reason that we're only doing 2 or 3 attacks at a time. If you use magic, they start teleporting. Obviously, costs more time, so you just pop a strength drop and just do the 2 attacks at a time. All right, so there'll be 2 more mob fights, and then the final boss, which is a 4-part final boss. I have a strength capsule. Sometimes I use it here. The difference between a strength drop, strength capsule is a strength capsule does it for 60 seconds, whereas a drop class does it for 30 seconds. So considering this is like a double mob fight in this room and the next room, you might just want to keep it for that. But did it work? It worked. No, I probably should have spammed magic there, but that's alright. I'm not used to getting a level up here, so I wasn't ready for it. Alright, final boss. Let's do this. Oh, there's one more shade. Oh, sorry, buddy. A single bullet. Okay. So, phase 1, it's a book phase. Strength drop. 1, 2, 3. And go. All right, so now I don't get the second phase too often, but I'm supposed to start doing fists and specials the moment I see the sword, which it looks like I whiffed, but. Fortunately for this fight, the camera auto locks on to the Shadowlord for some reason, which is really convenient. All right, that's phase 2. Phase 3, I'm not gonna move. We want the same outcome from the start of this fight every single time. So if as long as I do this exactly the same every single time, then I get the exact same result every time, which would be that magic drop, and then we're gonna do a 6 charge if we can. Can I? All right, 5 charge, and I'll just do some extra damage. Like that. All right, and then this is the last phase. We have to hit the Shadowlord in this state 3 times. And it gets increasingly harder with these bullets. All right. All right, I'm gonna need someone ready on the button to end this run. I need both my fingers, so it's gonna be about 20 seconds from now. So, fun thing about this run, you both start and end the run by typing in your name. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, now. Oh wait, wrong name. Usually you're 1, right? Undo the timer, production. I want this to be legit.
I was wondering how you were going to type it so fast.
That's the wrong name. What is a Bovril anyway? Matako's explained it to me at least 3 times. And now that's time. Wowie wowie. Well, that was a lot of fun. I'm going to skip this so we can hear some beautiful music to close out the evening. So yeah, lots of people to thank. Evil Ash, my comrade for the last 3 or 4 years. Doesn't do a lot of runs, but found so much of the stuff that you all watched today. Devil Snake coming and saving this speed game with a replicant 1.2 dominated world. He came and took the challenge and completely transformed this run that I've been working on for 3 or 4 years by myself in terms of doing attempts. So it's been an absolute pleasure working with you all over the years. The story was, I've been done with this speed game, pretty much done with all the speed running, and I got the invitation to come here and take part in this wonderful charity event. So Devil Snake was super helpful in teaching me all the new stuff and everything. And I think this is a sweet solemn note to end my life with this game on. So really, really fortunate to have done this for y'all. Thank you so much. I think we should probably listen to the ending credits. It's a beautiful song to end this beautiful evening. So thank you all so much for your donations and your time for this this game that means so much to me. And I'm so fortunate, not one person in this Final Fantasy dominated marathon asked me to sing the credits. You got it wrong, and I'm not, but I would have.
Mr. Taco. Oh wow, hello, I've been lying down for a while. Mr. Taco, can you help us with singing the credits? Skate, do we have a lyric check?
I can work on that.
Mr. Taco, you willing to help us out?
NieR credit song.
I don't know the song at all.
I am assisting with that at the moment.
NieR.
We're gonna like program the melody into my brain or something.
NieR credit song lyrics. That's a better search. Okay, you know what? I don't want to sing. I think Matako should sing, but what if I conduct Matako? What about that?
I think at that point you might just throw him off. Is the credit song?
All right, get ready on Strive. Ready?
Oh.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Strive till the phantoms are broken. Fight till the battle is done. The squadrons of night can't conquer the day, Your shadows extinguish the sun. Stories of danger, fearless attack. Spectres of plague and pain. All of these ghosts of our own. Illusions come back, and we'll be haunted again, haunted again. For the what? Let me down in the rags. Where are we?
I don't know. You're the one singing. It's not the conductor's job. To know there's a love, a guidance light makes life and grief as we strive to keep
alive, I believe. Love so great. Clouds all our hopes for the dawn.
Soft voice.
Hidden so deep in veils of deceit, imprisoned in twisting spells. Are we the plaything of fiends, or merely the dreams that we're telling ourselves?
Raise the voice.
Ourselves.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
Fearless attack. Spectres of plague and pain. All of these ghosts of our own. Illusions are back. We've been fighting in vain. Fighting in vain.
That is a solid B for never hearing that song before. I'm much impressed.
That was okay.
Yeah, that's a B. Right?
Thanks for the. Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks.
That's a passing grade as far as I know. At least in America. I don't know what the standards are here, but in America, you're going on to 10th grade with that.
I think Taco decides the.
I think I should go on The Voice, X Factor,
as a judge.
Britain's Got Talent. Well, what a lovely way.
Thank you so much, Taco.
To close out that beautiful NieR run, completely unexpected and planned.
Yeah, that was not planned.
More singing incentives coming to. Okay.
There are more singing incentives coming tomorrow.
Ugh. I'm not singing Melodies of Life, I'll tell you that.
Your local FF9 runner, Mr. Mizu, is saying that we are singing.
I don't make the rules. All right.
How far into the run is Melodies of Life?
Anyway, you've done all your thanks and shout outs and what Susan has.
I think so.
Yeah. Great, jolly good. All right, well, that is day 2 completed of ESA Legends. So just to wrap up the evening and proceedings of things. So we are, of course, going live right through the week until Sunday. We do a daily reset somewhere around 2-3 a.m. We are well on schedule today. Thanks to a higher class of runner, I think. Certainly compared to this guy, but it was been a jolly wonderful 2 days of speedrunning. So we are going to be going offline as far as the live portion goes. We will be rerunning. Day 2, we'll be back at 12 p.m. CET, Central European time. Work out your own time zones for when we come back for yourselves. Ours earlier as you go, like, I don't know, more towards America, and then maybe a different way for the other time zones, but jolly good effort. We will be raising money for Make-A-Wish International for the entire week, so all donations are going towards that beautiful cause. The proceeds from subs and cheers will be going towards it as well. Just because we're not here to entertain you live doesn't mean that you shouldn't also contribute to the event, so please do. Continue to donate and support the cause throughout the night, especially if it's good for your time zone. But if you would like your comments to be read live, by all means, do wait until we're here live on the mic once more. Tomorrow, kicking off the day, Dana will be running Romancing Saga 3, which Bowie had mentioned earlier, which is going to be a wonderful, wonderful start. We have scheduled up plans, some lightning returns with the PC drop mod, and I mean, like, as if there weren't enough secrets already, there might even be a person that you've not seen on the schedule who will be joining us and taking part in that run. Obviously, Nevius will be there too. Yay. But exciting new and wonderful things. And then the reins are coming off with some Final Fantasy 9, any percent, VV only, solo character challenge run by our own Mizzo and whoever else will get on board with that. And that will be running through in a few parts, leading us on to the following day as well. Obviously as well, our big milestone that we're coming up next for $4,500 total raised. Not only will Dana be doing the Romancing Saga 3 as per the plan, but we'll also be featuring Final Fantasy Legend 2. And I think, I mean, we can all agree that an ESA Legends event wouldn't probably be complete without a Legends run if we can.
Appropriate as it gets.
So, that's what, a little on the nose, if you will. So other than that, thank you so much, everyone. What a fantastic run by NieR. Thank you for the FF12 run earlier, Zero. Thank you so much tomorrow, Dano, for Romancing Saga. Yida, who's slightly off camera, will be coming up with 15 in the coming times. And I mean, I've already said we'll do FF16, which Yida will be running, but we'll wait on that a bit. And then FF9 to look forward to tomorrow. I've been Matako. Bowie was on mic earlier and had a wonderful Golden Sun run as well. He's currently casually enjoying Final Fantasy 14 off camera, because why would you not? So thank you so much, everyone. Have a splendid evening. Take it easy. All the best. Have a good one. And I will see you all at 12 p.m. Central European time in the Mara. Cheery byes.
Thank you for watching.